Somebody say something. I'm trying to see if it works.
Check, check. Test, test.
Just, damn it. Yeah, I sure am having some difficulties right now. Oh, microphone, speakers. Oh, speaker from the headset. Okay. Okay, I think we got it. Somebody say something. I think we got it.
Test, test. One,
Okay,
two,
we,
three,
we're we good. We
four.
good. We good. We good.
Okay.
All right. So, damn it. Oh, I don't know if I want to just scrap the video and restart over, but I guess since they didn't hear y'all, let's go ahead and damn, man, I hate to freaking ruin this damn podcast. Okay. Ah, fuck it. Let's just go. Let's just go. Okay. Anyway, let's start this one more time. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Regame 27, and I apologize if we had some technical difficulties. So, please hit that like button, share this video if you mind, and let's go ahead and get right back into the intros. Just in case if y'all did not hear the rest of the cast a while ago, so let's go ahead and start with you, Retro Bro.
What's up, YouTube? Retro Bro here. Take two.
All right, let's go with you, Zen.
And second take. Let's go.
All right, last not least, Amazu.
Second take. Let's go.
All right, so basically what we was talking about a while ago, since they couldn't hear y'all, so basically we gonna start on something small, and basically I guess I was gonna keep catch them up to speed on the Sega Genesis Mini Classic, on the games that was announced on. I'm really excited. It ain't just because I'm a huge Sega fanboy. It's just a whole bunch of those games, was really good, and to find the 16-bit, and it's a couple of those games that I'm having a hard time find as a collector because it's so freaking expensive. And one game comes to mind is Castlevania Bloodlines, and that's a really good game that a lot of people didn't pay no attention to during the 16-bit, because let's just be real, a lot of the attention was on the Super Nintendo when it comes to the Castlevania games. A lot of people didn't realize that they was a Sega Genesis exclusive Castlevania game. And there's a game called another game that was restricted to Japan, I believe. It might be. I'm not sure if it was released in Europe, but I know it's in Japan. Mega Man Wily Wars. That was a game that was not released physically in North America. But there's some really good games that a lot of people did not play. And another thing I did not know, there was a Tetris game on the Sega Genesis. I did not know that neither, because Nintendo had the exclusive rights to have Tetris on the home console. But there was a Tetris from Sega that was I believe it was in arcades in Japan or something like that. I'm not sure if it was. I'm not sure if it was on console. No. No, I think it was in Japan. They did have a physical release in Japan. If I think I'm right. If I'm not, then correct me. But there's a lot of stuff that I didn't even find out about. About this whole Sega Genesis Mini Classic. So, is anybody planning on picking it up?
I might have to take a look at it, man. If what you're saying, is factual, that sounds pretty sweet.
Okay, so let me see if I can find the rest of that list, because it's a really good list. Beyond Oasis, I know that's part of it. Was it Monster World 4? If you had played the Wonder Boy series, it's really good. I love Wonder Boy. If y'all did play it, let me see. I'm still looking for that game list. Everything you need to know. Give me a second. And it is up for pre-order right now. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, here's the list. You got Sonic the Hedgehog, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania, the New Generation. New Generation. Why's it? No, it's blood. What up? It's Bloodlines. Space Harrier 2. I really never cared for Space Harrier 2. Shining Force. That's a really good RPG. If people haven't played that, that's on there. Doctor
Yep.
Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I don't care.
Oh,
for
Dr.
it.
Robot and the Bee Machine is godlike.
I don't care about that. Toe Jam and Earl, Comic Zone, Altered Beast. Well, we already know that Altered Beast is
Hey,
coming.
yeah.
Gunstar Heroes. I know you like that retro,
Oh,
bro.
One Star Heroes is the GOAT.
Yeah, that's on there. Castle of Illusions, Mickey Mouse, World of Illusions. That's Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Thunder Force 3, Super Fantasy Zone, Shinobi 3. Now that Shinobi 3. That's one of the greatest games I ever played. That's a great game. Streets of Rage 2. You know, of course, that was a given. That's one of the best beat 'em up games ever. Earthworm Jim, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Landstalker, Mega Man, Willy Wars, Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition, Ghouls and Ghosts, Alex Kidd and Enchanted Castle, Story of Thor. What's the Story of Thor? I thought it was another. Golden Axe, Fantasy Star 4, Sonic Spinball, Vector Man, Wonder Boy, Monster World, Tetris, Darius, Road Rash 2, Strider, Virtual Fighter 2, Alicia Dragoon, Kid Chameleon, Monster World 4, Eternal Champions, Columns, Dynamite Heady, and Light Crusaders.
Damn, that is a list.
Yeah, that sounds like a good list.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a really good list, man. I hope I didn't leave nothing out.
What is this retailing for?
$80.
That's a good price, man.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they basically putting the Super Nintendo classics to shame, man. I'm not saying
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it. I like Super Nintendo classics, but it's only 20 games. Was it not 21 games with Star Fox 2? You got to unlock that. But
Yeah, well, in the world of mini consoles, yeah, this is probably about to take the number one spot with the Nintendo offering sitting somewhere in the middle and the PlayStation Classic dead last.
we don't talk about that. I think it's gonna be the number one classic console because it's not at games that's making it. Thank God, it's a Sega. It's gonna actually be a official licensed Sega mini console, in which everybody has been asking for a very long time, and that's why a lot of people is excited on YouTube making all these videos. No, this is an actual Sega console, the very first Sega console that Sega actually made since the Dreamcast. So none of these other third parties, these other companies, making these games, and I'm glad. I got really pissed off at Sega keep licensing their IPs to these crappy ass companies, man.
Yeah.
But I forgot the name. The one that's gonna be doing the emulation. That's I believe that's the people that doing the Sega Ages for the Switch. All the games from Sega that's on the Switch, the classics, they the one that's doing the emulation for the mini classic. So I forgot the name of that company. I forgot it. I'm pretty sure somebody in the chat would know. But yeah, they do good work, and like 42 games overall? Yeah, 42 games versus Nintendo 21. That's basically double the games for basically the same price. And plus, if y'all hadn't heard, they're gonna add some compilations to it. Like they got the I don't know if y'all had this back in the day. The 30. You remember when they had the Sega Genesis? Then you got the Sega CD. Then you put the 32X on top of the Sega Genesis. Y'all remember that?
Yeah,
You can actually buy that. It's a compilation. Of course, it doesn't work. I think it's like an extra $40 or something like that. So they going all out with this mini console. So just giving y'all a heads up if y'all hadn't heard about it. I love 16-bit gaming, and I've been playing a lot of freaking 16-bit games lately, man. So just want to just throw that out for right now. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to the games we've been playing this week. What you been playing, Retro Bro?
Lately, I've been playing Smash Ultimate, Street Fighter 5, DC Online, and a little bit of Dragon Ball Fighters, but mostly DC Online.
Mostly DC Online.
Oh, and I also took it back old school. I got a PS2 emulator, so I've been playing Monokemia 2.
Boy, you PC thief. Boy,
Hey, it ain't
y'all.
stealing if I bought the game years ago. Not like I've never purchased the game at some point in my life.
Boy, y'all PC people, boy, I tell you.
Besides, it's a weeaboo game. Not even many people know about it.
Oh, no, sure, that's your excuse. Okay. Well, what about you, Zen? What you been playing? I know you've been playing Xbox.
Yeah. Been trying to work through my backlog. Nasty piece of work.
Man, I got one.
Yeah, I know, right? But currently, right now, I'm focusing on the Borderlands games, doing the bits of DLC that I never did, working my way through pre-sequel right now, prepping for Borderlands 3 later this year. When I'm done with that, and while I'm waiting, probably gonna hop into some Far Cry New Dawn, finally get around to Kingdom Hearts 3, stuff like that. But new games been coming out. I've been throwing me off my schedule for the backlogs, like MK11 and Rage 2 and all that. But yeah.
So how's Rage 2? I hadn't played it yet.
Rage 2 is decent. I got maybe like 2 or 3 hours in it at a friend's house. But it's decent. The world is open. The shooting is marvelous. Like, okay, if you ever played an id game, you know they do shooting right. Like, they get the mechanics right. It's smooth. It's satisfying. It's visceral. The powers are really cool to use. And honestly speaking, it's Doom.
Mm-hmm.
But if you mix Doom with, I don't know, what's a good game to mix it with,
it's the same,
man?
the same people.
You know what? Doom and Mad Max. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a pretty cool game. Can't wait to really dig in and get more time with it at some point in the future.
Okay. Oh, what you been playing, Amazon?
For the moment, just Super Smash Ultimate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, I ain't touched that in my. I think the last time I played it when I was playing with y'all. It's been a while, dude.
Yeah, it's been me, Retro, and Nell been battling it out.
Oh yeah, y'all some
Pretty
hardcore
much,
at
yeah.
that, man. Like at first, I
Yeah.
think I put in about 80 hours myself on Smash Brothers, and I just stopped. You know, I got a huge backlog, man. So it's kind of hard for me to continue to play one game, and I got all these other games I done bought and it just sitting to the side, just nothing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
same here.
I would play more Smash myself, but that online, man, that online.
know.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's what kills it. Exactly.
Oh, man.
I know, man. It's try not to say nothing negative. You got these
I
fanboys.
know. Don't want to trigger nobody, but yeah, I mean the game is good. It is solid, beginning to end. Like every bolt has been tightened except for the online. If that wasn't such a blocking point, the game would be
And
absolutely
they
perfect.
even do good patches.
Yeah.
Like the patches are reasonable.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Pichu's not broken anymore.
Thank God, little bastard.
Yeah. Okay. I guess games I've been playing. Me and my wife, we played a lot of Overcooked too. It's fun. I don't know if you ever play Overcooked. At first, now I was looking at it, I was like, man, it look like a little kiddie game. Then I went ahead and bought it because I bought it on sale. Just the first Overcooked, I think I paid like about $8 or something like that. It was on sale. Then I bought it and I told my wife, hey, this might be a little 2-player game we can play. And and I didn't realize how the game, it could be a little difficult and it's fun at the same time. I don't know if you ever play Overcooked, and of course the second one came out, and we just got through beating the story mode, and there's some other DLC that I'm gonna purchase because they got more content, and it's a really fun game. I don't know if you ever played it, but it's fun. So I've been playing that, and been playing was it Monster World? Was it Monster Boy? Curse of the Kingdom? That's the Wonder Boy, the Wonder Boy series. That's the one that just came out not too long ago. I paid $40 for it. A game like that. I thought it was gonna be like around 20 to 30 because, of course, it's a 2D side scroller. But it's a lone RPG. It's like a side scroller / RPG. I didn't put over 20 hours into that game because it's a lot. It's you will get your money's worth. Don't look at the fact that it's a 2D game and why you spending $40 for it. But if you want to look at based on content, it has a lot of content and plus it's really fun. So I'm at the last world and I'm almost finished with that. What else I've been playing? Played a little old school. Played a little Shinobi 3 last week. Played a little not Contra Hard Corps. That is a dude. Oh yeah, Contra Hard Corps. Yeah, that's going to be on the Sega Genesis Classic too. Contra Hard Corps.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's going to be on Sega Genesis Classic. And I can't wait to go on the Classic because it's impossible to beat it on the Sega Genesis because you don't get only a couple of continues, man. That is
not true. I beat that game when I was a kid.
On the Genesis?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my sister beat it too when we was younger.
The robot is OP. You're supposed to play with the robot Brownie. He's OP. He can
really?
hover, and all his special moves are the best, like an energy shield that homes in and all this other stuff. He's the best character.
Man, that game is hard as hell, man.
Like, if you pick him, it's like a free win, literally.
A free win?
He's that good.
Oh, really?
No, really. You know what his C weapon is? It's this alien yo-yo that follows the enemy, and it hits so hard that 4 to 6 hits on any boss, it kills.
Oh,
it's
really?
that broken. Yes. Even on hard.
Maybe I'll try that out. That's another thing that I'm really excited about with the Sega Genesis Classic. There's a save state on every game. Remember back in the day, you can't really die much. If you die, you gotta start over. So that's why I'm glad that we get these save states.
I promise you, if you can beat Gunstar Heroes on Genesis, you can beat any Genesis game. Gunstar Heroes is the hardest game on Genesis.
Yeah, technically, Gunstar Heroes was basically the answer to Contra. Cause I believe Gunstar Heroes came to the Genesis before Contra Bloodline. No, not Bloodline.
It was like Anime Metal Slug.
Yeah, basically. So that's why I said it's kind of hard to pick and choose which console was better out of Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis because they both had a really great library of different variety of games, and not only they're different variety, a lot of them are freaking fun. Not just fun. They had great soundtracks, man. Why? How come we don't get soundtracks like that no more of these games, man? I don't know.
Different direction, I suppose.
I guess different direction, but the soundtracks, man, I could just listen to soundtracks all day. The Streets of Rage soundtracks. I could listen to Shinobi soundtracks, man. It's I don't know, man. What's that composer name? The one that did the Shinobi and Streets of Rage. And people they asking since Streets of Rage 4 is coming out. A lot of people been asking if y'all don't have such and such. I'm not buying it to do the music. I forgot his name. I don't know, but a lot of people when it comes to retro gaming, they love their soundtracks, man.
And one thing I can tell you about retro gaming and what it has taught me at my current age is that it's likely that I came out of the womb with godlike powers, man, because I am soft now, soft as hell. Like, I can't play none of these games anymore. I'm like, but how did that do this? Like, seriously, like, I've gotten mortal, I've gotten weak.
The crazy thing is,
sometimes I feel
these days have really good controls. When you go back and play those games, the control scheme is horrible. So to beat those is like beyond impressive.
Yeah. Speaking of controls, there was some concern because since Street Fighter Super Champion Edition, since that's coming out, a lot of people was concerned about the extra buttons. Of course, we're gonna get the 3-button controller, but it's kind of crazy because Japan is getting a 6-button controller, and people was like, "What was that for?" But if you want to, you can buy a USB controller licensed by Sega, and you can play it on your Sega Genesis Classic.
The 6-button controller makes sense because, like, the 32X era and Sega Saturn all were 6-button controllers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the games that came onto those platforms usually had like your heavy punches and your parries and stuff like that added
Yeah.
to the remakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you could get them cheap. Like, the retro store I go to, they got a lot of those licensed USB Sega controls for about $10, man. So they ain't no big deal to me.
Yo,
You
if y'all
know.
want a really hard game to play, now that I think about it, there was a game made by a company called Virgin about McDonald's called Global Gladiators. And it's like these two kids are like sitting eating Happy Meals and reading comics, and Ronald McDonald traps them in this comic book where they're being attacked by aliens and they have like guns and stuff. And it's
I
like
think I
you have to
remember that
work your
game.
way
I
through
think I
and
know what
defeat
you're
Ronald
talking about.
McDonald to free yourself. That game was so hard.
I think I know what you're talking about. Man,
Yeah.
we could talk
Do you
about
know how
retro.
OP Ronald is?
It's been so, man. It's been a while since it's been a minute.
He was broken as fuck. Like when you almost beat him and you think you finally memorized his pattern, he's like, "Oh, so you thought you won? Grimace attack."
Man, I could go all day about retro. Like I bought so many retro games lately, man. I don't know if I actually. I don't know if I told y'all I had a master system, and I need to dust it off. What else I bought? I tried to buy I tried to buy the Turbo Graphics, but I guess somebody got it before me. But I went ahead and I finally found me a Sega CD. If y'all can see it, found me a Sega CD. And these things are not cheap neither, and they're starting to be very rare to find. And I think I paid $200 for that.
All right, all right.
And I'm not
Dang.
sure if I showed you I bought me a Game Boy Advance. I bought me a Neo Geo Color Pocket. What else?
Yeah, play.
And yeah, I got a 6-button controller for Genesis.
Oh
What else?
man, this dude over here rolling in dough. Damn.
I don't want to say all that. I was disappointed. Was it Rocket Knight Adventure? That should have been the game on the Sega Genesis, but it is what it is. And of course I got Contra Hardcore. So I got that, and
I feel like I should insert a G-Rock moment right here because if he was here, he would say something like, "Man, all them boxes empty." So
Yeah.
that sounds like him, man.
yeah,
Yep.
Let's see, where's it at? Of course I bought some Sega CD games. Where's it at? Can't find it. Oh. Yeah, I got Final Fight for the Sega CD, and if you ever play Final Fight for the Sega CD, it's the exact same version as the arcade. Do not play Final Fight on the Super Nintendo. Do not play it. Final Fight on the Sega CD is way better. From the soundtrack, you get 3 characters instead of 2. No. Actually, I think you only get 1 character. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's either 1 character or 2 characters on Final Fight on Super Nintendo. But on the Sega CD, you get all 3 characters, and plus it's better quality. So, the Sega CD version is more expensive. I paid $70 for this. It's not even complete, neither. So I got a lot more games. I don't want to spend all day about that. That could be another podcast, and I'm about to hit up T about that because when he did a podcast the other day, he was talking about some retro games, and I told we gotta start that podcast back up. So I got a whole bunch of stuff I want to share with y'all. But let's go get to this E3, man. I know it's been a while since we did this, man. So I got a lot to say. So there has been a leak today about Ninja Theory's game. What was the name of it? I forgot.
Bleeding Edge.
It's Bleeding Edge. That
Yeah, I
game
forgot.
supposedly was in develop for 5 years. And basically, you know what, Zen? You know the whole story. You can tell it better than me, because I just found out about it.
Right, yeah. So the story goes, well, this is a game or a project, a passion project that has been worked on at Ninja Theory for close to 5 years. 2014 or something like that, I think it was. But as an independent studio, they didn't have the money to bring it out, so it kind of just sat on the sidelines for that amount of time. Instead,
Yeah.
most of the team went on. They made Hellblade. Hellblade is excellent. Launched on every platform imaginable. And they made money, got awards and stuff. They were acquired by Microsoft last year. And contrary to popular opinion, Microsoft didn't straight up say, "All right, well, we own you guys now, so that means you don't finish none of this crap because we don't want you doing that. You're gonna do this."
Mm.
Instead, Microsoft said, "All right, well, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and finish that game that you were working on, and we'll just foot the bill for that." That game is Bleeding Edge, and it has been leaked long before this guy leaked it
Mm-hmm.
because we knew about Ninja Theory's game, a 4-on-4 action co-op team game. We didn't exactly know how the game would play, but based on the video leaked earlier today, we have a better idea of what it's going to be. And essentially, it's going to be Power Stone meets Sunset Overdrive in terms of style and artistic flair. Right? So it's going to be a melee combat game, not necessarily a shooter. There may be guns, I don't know. But based on the footage I saw, that's probably still somewhere if you choose to go look at it. Um, you and a team of 3 other people would meet a team of 4 people in an arena, and essentially it would be focused on melee combat.
Mm.
There would be team-based combat. I think I saw 8 different heroes, so there would be powers and classes and things that only certain characters could do. So I guess I should rephrase what I said earlier. It's Power Stone meets Overwatch or Bloodborne or Paladins,
Speaking of
but
Power
with
Stone, I just bought it. I
hmm?
just bought Power Stone too. Speaking of that, you see it?
Oh yeah, nice. But with a Sunset Overdrive artistic flair to it. Of course, the video was like shot off screen on the cell phone with no audio, so we couldn't hear what it sounded like. Guess we have to wait until Sunday for that.
Yeah.
But it looked decent. And considering that Ninja Theory is the team that made Kung Fu Chaos back in the day on the original Xbox, then you can see that this is sort of an evolution of what they did then. And I understand, I get it. And Ninja Theory picked up a lot of fans since those days. They made Heavenly Blade on PS3. They made DMC on 360 PS3. They made Hellblade. They made Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. Excellent game, by the way, if you've never played it. So people have kind of gotten accustomed to that style of Ninja Theory's game output. But you got to remember where they started. And the first time any of us heard of them, well, at least the first time I heard of them, was back on Kung Fu Chaos, which in itself was a fighting game based on melee combat. So this is a return to their roots, not a deviation from what they have been doing. But I understand there are a lot of new fans. They don't know that, which would explain some of the anger, I guess you could say, some of the angst you see online.
Yeah.
But a quick look through history will tell you this is not strange territory for Ninja Theory.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, you can't never make everybody satisfied. Somebody gonna always be mad, man. So if this is a passion project in which what you said, and they've been working on this for 5 years, and Microsoft is getting giving them all the room to work on this game without them interfering, and Ninja Theory has a good history of making good quality games, then I don't just instead of getting mad and angry, just wait and see what type of game it's going to be.
Right.
They like I said, they got a good track record, man. Hellblade just came out last year, so just give them time and stop. I think the reason why they're mad is because people, they like Microsoft, they have a bunch of multiplayer games.
Right.
Halo and Gears, like those are revolutionary multiplayer games, and a lot of people are like, why we need more multiplayer games? We got Sea of Thieves, State of Decay. That's too many. And what's the other one that came out a few months ago? Terry Crews.
Crackdown.
Crackdown. Like those, even though it wasn't well received, but like how many multiplayer games do Microsoft want as far as first party? That's not including third parties.
And I understand that. That's a valid concern. But the next thing you need to know is this is not the main team working on this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Hellblade team. This is not them.
Oh,
the Hellblade team is working on whatever they're working on, be it a sequel to Hellblade or whatever, or something completely new. Mm-hmm. But we won't be seeing that for another couple of years at least. So in the meantime, this is what we'll get.
Okay. What y'all think about it? Amazoo, not G Rock, Retro Bro. What y'all think about it?
It's tough call, like, because I'm not a big fan of a million multiplayer games, though I do play a few of them. But unfortunately, that's like what the market demands now. Like, all these young kids really only play multiplayer games. Because like my youngest brother, he's in high school right now, and literally all he plays is multiplayer games. He doesn't play story games, and that's how a lot of them are. They all have quick attention spans that are short with
Mm,
like
mm, mm.
YouTube and social media and stuff. So they want stuff that
Hmm.
you can just pick up and play quickly.
That's a shame.
One player games have a lot of story building and they take time to progress. Multiplayer games, you just pick up right away. Like, it doesn't mean you're going to master it and be really good at it, but you really don't have to put in the effort to progress to at least initiate the game, if that makes any sense. And that's really what these kids want.
Yeah, yeah. To jump over what he just said, to build off of that, it isn't an
Yeah.
accident that games like Fortnite and Apex Legends rule the world. So,
Exactly.
That's
yeah,
true.
that's what the market wants.
Yeah. Hey, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. The people that's in the chat, make sure you hit the like button. I know it's been a while since I did a podcast. You know, if I can get back to my 50 to 60 people watching, I'll be at least satisfied for with that. And let me get some shout outs right quick. What's up, Dave J, EJ Johnson? What's up? What's up, Trill? We gotta get you in the podcast one of these days, whenever you have time, Trill. Who else? Who else is here? Who else? What's up, Kurt? What's up, X Cherry? What's up, Blue Boat? What's up, Danny Ingram? What's going on? You doing all right? Okay. So, and yeah, I guess piggybacking off of this whole conversation, this situation, why every year there's always some major leaks a day or two before E3? Don't that pisses y'all off, man? Like,
It
what?
does.
What? I talk about this all the time. Like, what's the point of all this build up hype and all of a sudden a day or two later, before you even set up your stream, your computer, before you set up your, everything, to get excited, it's all the stuff is already out. I'm like, what
I'll
the
tell you why.
hell?
I'll tell you why,
It's
man.
like I understand why. I'll go after Zen though.
No, go, no,
Man,
yeah, go. What?
it's just real simple. It ain't even all that hard to understand. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a bunch of jackasses out there looking for clout, and they're like, all right, you know what? I know some dude who knows some dude who knows some dude,
Oh
and I'm
boy.
gonna work my magic and try to get them to tell me things. And once I can confirm they're even halfway through true, I'm gonna come out and tell everybody. So I'll be the hero for 5 minutes of my life. But I'm like, bro, it's fun, I guess, depending on what you leak and when you leak it. But we're 2 days out, man. We are 2 days out from the first
Yeah.
major conference of this
Yeah.
E3 season. You can wait. You can definitely wait. And forget us, forget the fans, right? We're being robbed of that enjoyment. Sure, forget that. Think about what you're doing to the developers who work day and night away from family, no free time. Some of them crunch to make these things, probably getting shitty salaries. And the one enjoyment they're gonna get is that initial reaction when they show
Mm-hmm.
the work of the last 5 years to an audience of hungry gamers.
Mm-hmm.
To get that applause, to get that moment of, yeah, this is what we've been working on. We couldn't wait to show it to you. You just took all of that away from them because you
Mm-hmm.
wanted clout. Hey man, that's what it is.
That's, there should be some type of guidelines to, like, or at least some type of surveillance, you know, to where, whatever they get the access to these games before
There
they leak it,
is.
there needs to be
It's
some type of surveillance so they can know and pinpoint who actually did it, so they can fire
there,
their ass.
there is. It's called an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, upon which if you break it, you're gonna get sued to oblivion. But
Oh Lord.
Man, they'll do all kind of stuff. They'll hint it
yeah,
to you in the
I don't know.
background and all that
Yeah, there's
crap.
nothing wrong with rumors. Like rumors, like it's not all the way factual. Like you keeping a second guessing, but just out in the open, just here. I know you wanted to wait on this day, but here it's right here. Like, come on, man. It's kind of like everybody is they're so itching to see that Avengers movie that came out a
hmm,
couple months ago. I love it. It's a really great movie. And all of a sudden you about to walk inside the movie and some jackass outside telling everybody what happened.
Man, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, man. That's
yeah.
like you in the line, bro. You in the line. You about to sit down. You sit down. The dude next to you is like, "Hey, you know I saw this movie already." And you're like, "All right, cool story, bro. Keep it to yourself." He's like, "Hey, Iron Man dies at the end." You're like, "What the fuck?"
Hey, somebody actually got beat up for that. I forgot. I think it
Yeah.
was China. Was it China? Somebody got his butt kicked. He got his
Jeez.
butt kicked, boy.
Yep.
Man, like I don't know, man. That's why it's kind of hard to be on social media, especially if you don't want to hear anything about spoilers, man. When it comes to movies, when it comes to video games, because you got there's billions of people online every day on social media, and out of those billions, you probably got over a million, that's a jackass. Those trolls. So you really gotta
Hmm.
watch out, man. Like it's hard, dude. It's really hard, dude. So, anybody else on that before we go to the Stadia?
I was gonna say the other thing is, like some companies I feel like do it on purpose because they try to hook the people that are indecisive on whether they care about the content or not. If that makes any
Uh,
sense, because
yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
because I'm kind of that type of person to some degree with certain media. Like with anime, I'm super picky. So like I'll look up a lot of information or wait till a series is done so I can
Mm-hmm.
get enough details on it before I watch it. So for a person like me, the leaks are kind of good because if it looks like something I'm not really interested in, I won't spend my money on it personally.
Mm-hmm.
So like for some people like that, it kind of works too.
So what you're talking about is a controlled leak, and usually what
Hmm.
they do is bad news. They kind of leak it out on the down low before the official announcement to kind of get people, softened up for the actual blow. So
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Let me pay some bills right quick, man. I really appreciate that. Is it RD Potato? I can't pronounce that. Appreciate that, man. He said keep the expectation on check. Feel bad for Ninja Theory for their game reveal like that today. Microsoft better bring blockbuster games. No more.
giant headed
He
games.
watches us out here all the time.
Yep. There's only one place where that phrase comes from.
Diabetic. Oh boy,
Like you know
like
what company does that, but the way they do it doesn't like ruin it for people? Amazon. If you ever notice, they'll have like a date for a game you pre-ordered and when
Yeah,
they'll release it to you.
yeah.
oh
And
okay.
so
What's up,
you
Tayshawn?
know the leaks suck, but it is what it is. The best thing you can hope for is that if you're a console manufacturer, if you got a show or whatever, right, you're a big publisher. The best you can hope for is that your whole damn conference doesn't leak, like game for game, in order of appearance, because that would suck.
What's up,
That would
Antonio?
suck.
We had some more people in here. Appreciate y'all guys coming in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share, to get some more people here. I'm gonna try to come back and stay in come back to the YouTube streets and do my weekly podcast like I used to. And I know a lot of y'all been asking me about what the hell happened to me. Life happened, man. Just life, man. So, yeah, make sure y'all always hit that like button. That really helps share my content, man. Like I don't even get the views like I used to on my channel no more. It is what it is. So y'all make sure y'all please hit that like button. And what else? What else? Was you saying something?
No, I was about to say blame YouTube for that. The whole views thing.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
algorithm is ridiculous now. Subscribing and the bell don't work at all. So
No,
it's
it don't.
like
Mm-mm. Even
I see
that.
more content from people I don't watch than people I'm actually subscribed to suggested to me all the time.
Yep, that is true. I get suggested videos on just by everybody I'm not subscribed to. I'm like, dang, I don't get notifications to the people I am subscribed to. Like, what the hell?
That's true.
I don't know, man. It is what it is. I think it was like last year when that algorithm hit everybody like really bad, and a lot of people they was like, forget this, man. Forget, I'm done.
And yeah, that's
And
what I did.
I,
I
I,
walked away, man.
I believe the CEO even said, that they purposely held some videos from content creators, man. Like,
Yeah, they
when,
did
Yeah.
because more traditional television is on here now and they make more money than we do.
I don't know about you, Rio, but for me, YouTube was a fun thing to do. It wasn't about the money. It was just about the passion for games,
yeah,
and having a platform and talking about things that I like to talk about. But when you got all these multi-billion-dollar corporations breathing down your neck for pennies on the goddamn dollar, mm,
I know.
Oh man.
it ain't worth it.
Have y'all noticed?
Yeah.
There's like, remember we only get like one ad. Yeah, we getting like two ads now. Have y'all noticed that?
Yeah.
Oh
How long this
man,
been
yeah.
going on? I'm getting multiple ads now. Like this, it's getting ridiculous, dude.
It is.
They want us to pay for that subscription, so we want to get ads. That's what they want, man. It's always about
You
money,
know,
man.
they don't get me on my desktop. I got a ad blocker.
Mm.
And soon they're gonna say you can't use YouTube with ad blocker on. Wait for it.
They
Yeah.
will, and you know why? It's because the average people don't think things through the way we do. And I mean, like, in the sense that if you are in class, because this happened to me all the time in college, your teachers will skip YouTube ads and not care. And their response is, I don't care if this person gets paid that way or not. If they wanted us to make them, if they want that person to make the money, they should force me to watch it, like traditional TV. And that's always what they say. So when it makes that move, they're not going to complain. They're going to be like, okay, it's like regular TV. I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, what we was about to go to next? Stadia. So I saw the little 3 minute video and whatever. Like, like it's basically the same stuff that they told us what a couple of months, what a month ago when they had the little conference or something like that. Like, it's cloud game this stream this cloud gaming, like it's the future, man. Whether a lot of y'all guys like it or not. Are we ready for it? I'm not sure. Like it's different parts of the world. People, internet sucks. Like not everybody have high speed internet, and I think they said something about you can get a 1080p resolution if you got, I believe it's a 20 or 30 megabytes. Is it 20 megabytes per second? If I
I think it was 35 for
It's
4K 60.
35. Oh, it's
Yeah.
35, 4K 60. See, that's
Yeah.
not that's not bad. Like that's good. You know, because I get over 200 megs. But like just because it's good on my end, what about somebody that live about 200 miles from me? Like I don't know what their connection look like. Like I don't know if the whole world is ready for it right now. It's kind of like with 5G. Are we even ready for 5G? I don't know.
Oh man, don't even talk about that.
So I don't know. I think they trying to they trying to speed this stuff up, man. And a lot of us older retro guys that love physical gaming, it's pretty soon we ain't gonna be getting no physical gaming. Like the Stadia that's about to come out, that's gonna be the same thing with Microsoft and Sony and probably Nintendo. You know, we don't even got to purchase no console with Stadia. Just get the controller and that little thing, and boom, there you go. So if they start making a whole bunch of money and capitalize off of that really good, you don't think Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo gonna be taking notes and try to follow right behind them, especially if they could save a lot of money. So it's just wait and see, man. So
No, they already are, man. Well, not Nintendo, not yet, but
mm-hmm.
the other two are.
So what y'all think about it, man? Don't matter who go first.
All right, I guess I'll take it. As I said before, when we were off air, or was that on air, and no one was hearing us? Off air, okay. Um, it is for some people. For us traditional gamers, not necessarily. Uh, there are a bunch of people out there who like walking around and being able to play on the go. That's not me. I have a Nintendo Switch. It never ever comes out of the dock, like ever. So I'm that dude who sits at home. He plays his consoles on the big screen TV because that's who I am. That's who I've always been. But I'm not the customer. I'm a customer. So I have to recognize that people have different tastes, different flavors, different needs. And this may suit some people, but ultimately it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
That aside, from what they said, it looks decent. I mean, I got no actual problems with it. Some people really, really hate it. We were talking about that too, but we leave that alone. But for the most part, if this works as advertised, then that is impressive. Of course, I personally don't think it'll work as advertised, at least not at first.
No.
But yeah,
It's not
I
gonna be
mean, it is what it
perfect.
is.
It's gonna be some
Whoever
bumps in the
gets it,
road.
yeah, whoever gets it, they get it. Let us know.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
whoever be the first one to start something, it don't really go all that well because even there's gonna be a lot of mistakes, and your competitors gonna capitalize and basically do what you did, but do it better. Like I could go all the way back to Sega. How many times Sega tried to be the first one to do the internet? They tried to be the first one to like
Right.
how many revolutionary things that Sega did in the '90s, and they failed because of certain, because I guess we just wasn't ready for it, and Sony and Nintendo capitalized off of it, and next thing you know, they out the market.
It
You
was
know,
way before it,
way,
the
way,
time for that.
yeah, especially
Yeah.
the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was way before its time. Like,
Hmm.
if you look at it, if you look at Dreamcast now, like it makes you appreciate what Sega did. It's just the world wasn't ready. You know, kind of like if just look at Sony. Like how many times Sony copy other gaming competitors, whatever they do. How many times they copy Nintendo? How many times they be copying? So they always sit back and watch
Well,
before.
that's Sony as a company. I'm not trying to throw any shade or anything. I mean, let's slow down, slow your roll. Not trying to throw any shade or anything. This is
Uh-oh.
legit, right? Okay. Sony is a reactionary company.
Mm-hmm.
They're not proactive. They don't take the lead. Not often. The only thing I could think of they took the lead on is VR.
Mm-hmm.
They only follow proven concepts. When
Yeah.
someone else does it, then they go ahead, they improve it a little bit, and then they do it themselves. But they don't stick their necks out there saying, hey, this is how we think the future is, and we want to be the pioneers,
Yeah.
right? They don't do that. That's not Sony as a company.
I guess
Well, you know what?
it could
Let
be
me
a
be
good
perfectly
thing and a bad
be
thing.
fair.
Mm-hmm.
VR and physical mediums, because they were the first to CDs on consoles, they were the first to DVDs, they were the first to Blu-ray. And put that and VR together, that's literally all they've been first on. But aside from that, they follow, they don't lead.
Well, there
Oh.
is another thing they were first on that everyone forgets. The PSP, because it was the first handheld to actually play with graphics close to a console.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
All
lot
right,
of
yeah,
people
yeah.
didn't like it because it played too much like being on a PlayStation console for a handheld,
No,
and
no,
like those
no.
buttons aren't.
You're wrong. Sega's Nomad was. That was a Genesis on the go back in the day.
Yeah, but it didn't
Mhm.
have the graphics that really fit the specs of today, if that makes sense. Because I mean, like the Sega Nomad
I think that
is
came
kind of
out. I think it came out the same time when the Genesis was still active. I believe.
it definitely did because I used to have one.
Uh
I'm
huh.
just saying that and the Virtual Boy were kind of still within that zone of like not really high spec graphics on a handheld, if that makes any sense. It was still in the tier of low graphics handheld. The
Okay.
PSP was actually high graphics handheld, but the problem was the controls played too much like being on a PlayStation console, and when you play handheld, buttons need to be simpler because
Mm-hmm.
of just the way the control scheme is, and that turned a lot of people off because Nintendo games for handhelds always have super simple buttons.
Mm-hmm.
The Switch is actually a predecessor to the PSP done right because it still keeps the simple control scheme while doing up graphics, but that was thanks to PlayStation and the PSP.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, man. So, on what you were saying before with Sony and who's taking, who's paying attention to the current direction of the market and everything. That's their strength. That's what they do. They sit back with a pen and paper. They take notes. They scratch off everything that doesn't work, and then push forward everything that does work in
Yeah.
their own style, which is
Yeah.
not a bad way to run a business. This is
Mm-hmm.
not criticism. This is just being observant.
Yeah. Ain't no wrong
Yeah.
being there. I ain't hating. Shit. Sony they've been on top ever since they came in the gaming industry. So maybe
Hmm.
Nintendo, Microsoft need to take notes.
Yeah.
Hell, I won't say Nintendo. Like Nintendo, they go their own way, but Microsoft, they still has yet to win a generation, man.
Yeah.
So there's a reason for that, man. Well, one reason we already know that it's a lack of exclusives, and not just exclusives, lack of quality exclusives. That's one way to get more people on, and
Also, Sony has this godlike power that that companies are starting to tap into more as far as the console market at least. And what that is good anime games. Keyword being good anime games because
Yeah.
as a big anime fan that plays all anime games, 90% of them are complete shit. So when
Hmm.
you get the 10% of them that's really good, that really hits home. And all the really good ones, as well as the bad ones, have always been on PlayStation for years. And a lot of companies are starting to get them now. But back in the day, you kind of had to go to PlayStation if you wanted them. Like if you wanted a
Hmm.
Dragon Ball game in the day, you got a PlayStation. If you wanted
Yep.
Full Metal Alchemist or Cross Edge or Disgaea, you went to PlayStation. You wanted all the
Hmm.
Persona games, you went to PlayStation. I mean,
Yeah.
Persona 5 is still a very popular topic now. And where do you got to go to get it?
That's right. That's right.
Oh
And that
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
that ability to do that, that ability to control more or less the third party scene in Japan, kind of integrated itself into Sony's and PlayStation's identity. So back to what you were just saying, right? You know, everyone knew where you had to go to get these games.
Hmm.
That remains
Exactly.
largely true to today. I mean, it's changing slightly, but for the most part,
It's true because
yeah.
the most diverse library for anime games other than PlayStation is PC, and there's still a lot of good like anime games that aren't even accessible there that you still have to go strictly to PlayStation to.
Yep.
That's true. And speaking of Persona 5, that what's that other version? Was it
R,
some Persona R? Like,
and it's looking pretty clean too.
yeah, like a lot of people was wondering, is it coming to Switch? And they just confirmed that's gonna stay on PlayStation. But of course, Switch they got that other Persona game that who's make was it Koei Tecmo?
Come out.
Is Koei
Yeah.
Tecmo that's making this whatever the name of that? It looks cool. It looks cool. But to be honest, I really wanted the Persona 5 to actually go on Switch because let's just be real. If you play Persona 5 like I did and beat the game, that's a game that I really appreciated from Atlas and Sega. I really appreciate them for bringing that game out. And the game
It
was so good that I'm like, why is this game only restricted to one console? More
it kind of
people
makes
need
sense
to
though.
buy it. Hmm.
It kind of makes sense though because PlayStation kind of has the history of not getting along with Nintendo because of how they screwed them over in the
Yeah.
past, and Joker being in Smash kind of bridges the gap. It's like
Yeah.
it's like you can't get Persona 5 by playing it on Nintendo, but if you really enjoy Joker and Smash, then you'll get a PlayStation to play Persona 5. So it sets up that bridge of getting their fans to play the other console
Hmm.
and vice versa.
It's called the
Because
Smash
even
Effect.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
even the fans that like Persona that don't care about Nintendo might want to try Joker and Smash.
Yeah. I don't know. I know a lot of Nintendo fans. They was disappointed because they actually did want to play it on Switch. They did. You know, I was kind of a little upset for them because that game needs to sell more. 2 million is not enough. That game right there should be a 10 million seller.
Oh, it's actually increased a lot because
Yeah.
all the Nintendo fans have PlayStations too, and after Joker came out on Smash, they're all doing streams. And Joker, Zero, who used to be the world's best Smash player for Smash 4, has been playing all the personas like ever since on his streams. And his streams always have no less than 10K viewers
Oh
for
wow.
Switch.
He's getting those them Etika views.
He's bigger than Etika because he was the world best player in Smash 4 and competitive play.
Oh really?
Yeah, literally the best. He won
Mm.
5 years straight consecutively.
I don't know about that. You talking about bigger? You know how many live views Etika be having? That dude be having about 20,000 people watching this dude act the fool.
Yeah, I know, but again, Zero is bigger because he's
Yeah,
the biggest Smash player, and
that's
Smash is
understandable.
so big. Smash is so big of a fan base that it's the only fighting game in the FGC that can be ignored
Yeah.
by the rest of the sponsors, and the fan base can keep it up financially. No other game in FGC has that type of power.
That's true.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like they got rid of Melee from being in I forgot the name of the tournament,
Evo.
and yeah, and Evo, but Melee is still big enough financially to do it on its own, and it's literally doing it.
Mm. Man,
No other
people,
fighting game has that power.
man, people still playing Melee? Jesus. Let it die. They won't let it die.
It's because no other Smash game has as much tech as it.
Oh,
It
really?
plays more
Yeah,
like a real fighting game. It's not as floaty. You
it's
can
true.
wave
Yeah.
dash. You can chain grab. There's not a million characters with projectiles. Like the
Hmm.
worst projectile you'll face in Melee is Mario and Luigi's fireballs. That's basically it.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
New Smash
So,
games be having ridiculous ones. Just wait to Smash 5. It's gonna be Goku spamming Kamehameha.
so how did we even start on this? What was it? Was we talking about Stadia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did we get to this?
Then we drifted to Sony dominating the console market.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Personally, I think the Stadia is gonna be good. Like, I don't think the Stadia itself is gonna be a failure, but I think
That's
the biggest issue with the Stadia is gonna be for it to function properly, everyone
stop.
has to have like fiber optic cabling connection, and not everyone has that yet at this time. And I think that's the biggest issue. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Google because they have one in New York and one in like California, but it feels like being in a whole nother world going in that building. Like, they're so technologically advanced with the stuff they have that it's absurd.
So basically, if they said we can actually play with our Xbox and PlayStation controls, right?
Yes.
So okay, and plus, okay,
Like,
if
it'll be
I
years before the other consoles have the power technologically to compete with that. Because let's be brutally honest, Google is technology. Like, if they remade the game Monopoly to be a digital version, it'd be called Google the Life.
oh
Not even Google the game, Google the Life.
so
Uh,
basically,
You heard of Half Life on PC? It'd be Full Life presented by
full
Google.
life. So basically, if I wound up getting this Stadia deal, and I would I just wanted, if I buy the controller to the Stadia, like all I need is just a smart TV, and I can just play it, right?
Yep.
Yep.
yes.
Oh damn. I don't see why people hating on that, man.
They're hating on it because they don't understand the power, or they're just jealous that there'll be a long time before they can afford to taste it.
People
It
fear what
was
they don't
one.
understand,
It was
man.
one reason that some people are hating the fact that you pay $9.99 a month for subscription, plus you got to
Hmm.
pay full price for the game, and a lot of people got their doubts because what happened, like you pay full price for a game that's technically not yours, unless you got to continuously and keep paying your subscription, or
Right.
or you got to keep paying your internet. If you ain't got no internet, you ain't got no subscription,
Later.
then you ain't got no game. The game that you paid for.
Later.
So that's one of the reasons why people don't like that. But they're gonna have to suck it up because this is the future. Like whether they like it or not, this is their future. If they love their physical games, then they better do what I'm doing. You better start collecting. Better start collecting.
So the general idea behind it is not so what's what I'm looking for here? Foreign or so egregious as people are making it out to be. You pay that subscription to keep access to the service, right? During which time you can play any game that they offer, but you need to keep paying that subscription, that $9.99 every month. After the $129 to get the control and the Chromecast that you need to do that, right? But let's imagine it this way. Imagine if Netflix, you pay your Netflix subscription to get access to all these movies streaming, right? But what if Netflix said, hey, all right, here's what we're going to do. You can continue to pay us whatever tier of Netflix you're paying, let's just say $10 for the sake of argument. You can continue to pay your $10 and maintain access to Netflix, but effective immediately or effective from X date, we'll allow you to buy individual shows and programs that you can then own.
Mm-hmm.
But you still need to keep paying us, to access the service anyway. That's the part that's tripping people up a little bit because there's no way to take what you bought or what you quote unquote own
Yeah.
outside of the service
Mm-hmm.
because it's not physical. It's not real, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's not tangible. That's the word I'm looking for. So, but it is what it is, man.
I'm not a big fan
Yeah.
paying full price for digital games because I need some type of trade value. Like if I don't play the game no more, then I don't want the game. If I don't want the
Right.
game, I want to sell the game. That is the problem that I always had with digital gaming. You know, like that's if I do buy digital games, I wait to like a holiday when they have higher price off, or right now like every E3, Microsoft always do a big sale. So you know I
I,
wait. Go ahead.
I think if consoles do the Steam model, it'll make it more bearable because the way it works with Steam, your achievements are actual currency. Like they give you trading cards and stuff, and there's people that collect those in the market, and you sell those. And when you sell them, you get digital currency for Steam that you can
Yeah.
save up for DLC or games. If they do that, then it makes achievements actually a monetary value.
Now,
Interesting.
there was a rumor a while ago, and I think we may have talked about it on some past episode of this podcast. I think I remember doing that. There was a rumor or a leak or whatever you want to call it that Sony and Microsoft were doing something with BitChain, right? Where, long story short, it would allow you to buy a digital game, and then you can resell said digital game
Uh huh.
either back to them or to another user, and you'd get an online currency, not real money, like toy money, like a currency for the service, which you can then reinvest back into another game.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're gonna have to pay the publisher and the developer and Sony or Microsoft themselves a cut if you choose to sell to another user. But that system that was rumored is essentially a means of giving digital purchases weight, giving them value. And if they
Yeah.
really do go ahead and do that, I have no problem with that. That'd be really sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you get something out of it, man. Like if they'll do some with kind of like with Xbox and PlayStation, like getting certain amount of achievements, you trade it in for some, or you buy something digital if you don't want no more, you know, sell it back, get something off of it, man. I just hate paying $60. It's kind of like if you play NBA 2K and Madden every year, and basically you like to pay $60 every year for an updated roster. Like, let's just be real, man. That's why I keep telling these people. I'm like, why y'all keep paying $60 for updated roster every freaking
well, well,
year?
well,
Like,
well. There's a certain
it's
miss.
the
There's a certain miss
same
in G Rock that does that.
it's the same game. Like sports games. That's why I don't even play sports games no more. It's a rip off, dude. Like they
Mm.
didn't if I'm not mistaken, didn't EA was gonna do something about that? Set some type of program up to where like if you have EA access, then you pay a portion of it like half off every year or something like that. I thought that they was talking about doing something like that.
No, EA Access. If you're subscribed, it allows you to get. And I don't know about EA Access, Origin Access on the PC. All I
Mm-hmm.
know about is the console version.
Yeah.
Um, they give you a minor discount, like $60 games. If you subscribe to EA Access, the EA games, you get them for like $55, $54.
Mm.
So yeah, it's just a discount.
That sucks. Anyway, okay, since we done with the whole Stadia talk, so let's talk about Nintendo's E3 before we go to Microsoft. PlayStation, there is no E3. Nintendo, um, the Switch. I have a love and hate relationship with Nintendo this generation. I'm excited for them for getting back on top. Selling a lot of consoles. They did a huge 180 from the Nintendo Wii U.
You
You
mean the
know,
PU because it's straight stunk?
yeah, the PU.
Hmm.
So basically, they don't.
We don't talk about that period of history, sir.
So basically, they've been giving us some really good games, especially that first year with Breath of the Wild. Splatoon came out that same year. That the Super Mario Odyssey. A lot of these some really great heavy hitters came out that first year, and that was at the time. I was like, okay, a lot of third parties, they're not giving as much attention to Nintendo because what happened to the Wii U, so they basically let their own first party game sell itself. So after that first year, second year, that's when a lot more third parties started coming, and when I say third parties, I'm talking about a lot of these third party games from the 360 and PS3 era. It's like it came in droves the second year, and now we're in the third year, and we had the same thing. And of course, we got some first party games. The Yoshi Woolly World, I didn't pay for. I didn't buy it because I told myself enough is enough of paying $60 for a 2D side screen, and I can't even play with my friends online. So I'm done paying $60 for a game that I'm paying $20 a year for a subscription. I can't even play online. You know, you got that. You would think that Kirby game you could play online with people. You paying for a subscription. You would think that Yoshi game you can pay on. You can play with people online. You know, your friends online. And there was another game. Mario Maker. Now that's a big uproar with Mario Maker 2. That we can't even play with your own friends online. You play with randoms. And
there we go.
Some bull. I'm trying not to rant, man.
No, man.
Yeah,
I'm right with you. You are preaching to the choir. You are preaching to the choir, bro.
Like,
I'm right with you. Yeah.
Like, people was like, you know, what's the point of paying for the service if we can't even play with our friends online? Like, it just doesn't make sense, man. You know, and what was that reason they gave us for why we can't play with our friends or something? I forgot. It was something stupid, man. But that's why I never liked the Nintendo online service. It's garbage. We basically just paying $20 a year just to keep playing online because we still hadn't got no benefits from the subscription. Like, I don't know who is actually playing those NES games. Let's be real.
Nobody is playing NES.
Most of the gamers don't even play NES no more. It's Super Nintendo and up. That generation, the 80s generation, nobody don't really care about that no more. So,
man, at first, you know, they were dropping some sweet titles. They were like, all right, here's Mario Brothers. You know, here's Golden Axe or whatever. Here's, they did Double Dragon this month, Double Dragon 2. Pretty sweet titles, you know, not bad. Here's Legend of Zelda, XYZ, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
But then they start scraping the bottom of the barrel. They start hitting you with that City Connection and that Clue Land. I'm like, man, who the hell played these games?
Clue Land.
I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. Like.
But you see what the crazy part is?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows. It's like the world's worst secret. Everybody knows it, right? Everybody's upset about it. If you look at the ratings on the announcement videos when they announce these abominations, it's like freaking 7K down and 2K up or something like that. They're like downvoted to hell. People on Twitter, they're like, man, Nintendo, what is this? But let me tell you something about Nintendo. Nintendo has a superpower. It's a legit superpower too. It's called the superpower of being able to ignore millions of people.
Man.
I don't know how they do it, but they pretend not to see nothing.
It's an ability.
It's amazing.
For anyone that's played Pokemon X and Y, it's Clefairy's special ability called Unaware, where you can't paralyze, confuse, or poison it because it's too dumb to realize it's in that state.
Oh,
yep. Wow. I mean, you would think with the kind of uproar, Nintendo would be sweating right now. Like, damn, all right, people aren't happy, man. We got to do something about this.
Yeah.
Nope.
So basically, with Nintendo, they are in this third year, and I've been saying this for a while. I was like, okay, I've been saying this since the first year. I was like, okay, you know, third parties is the games like Madden's and the Call of Duties. They're not here. And I was like, okay, maybe these third parties want to make sure they get enough consoles so they can go ahead and start developing these games for the Switch. So the second year came, they got a lot more games, you know, but it was like a lot of old games. They got maybe a little sprinkle of course, you get the NBA 2K, you get the FIFA 19, they got the Dragon Ball Z Fighters, whatever, and they got some decent third party support, but people want to know, where is Assassin's Creed, the new one, not the old one? Where is Madden? Where are these games that normally comes on Xbox and PlayStation during the holidays? It's like they didn't get touched. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to say about that. Maybe it's the lack of power for the system. And I was like, okay, let's see what happened this third year. We are in the 6th month of this year. Half the year is over. So I'm like, okay, what is going on? Like, I hope that this coming up E3 there will be some surprises, some games that you don't normally see on Nintendo. Like Nintendo, they did not prove their point. They proved that they can sell enough consoles. They did not prove that. So if they're still not getting these games, in which a lot of people has been asking for, then there is something else to this. Maybe
It's hard to say too though, because
Mhm.
like Nintendo fans are open, but they're not that open if it makes any sense. Like I
Mhm.
mean they have
Hmm.
Skyrim, and even though Skyrim is old, it's an excellent game, but it's really not doing too well on the Switch. Like no one's really going out of their way to give it a try. Like
And
Assassin's Creed is a great game, but I can't think of too many Nintendo channels I follow that even that have the consoles that play those type of games because they
Mhm.
have the platforms they come on, but they're still usually not games they play. Now, if
Mhm.
you want a hardcore game that I think they would probably give a try, they would
Mhm.
probably do it for Sekiro because Sekiro was just like unanimously too popular. I
Yeah.
feel like that they would give a try, but a lot of times they steer clear of games that are like super realistic.
well, I mean, they do have Doom and Wolfenstein, so
Yeah.
And they didn't do as great as they should have.
no, they don't. But you see, that's the whole problem with third party and Nintendo is as a third party publisher, developer, whatever. You got to put a game on a Nintendo console. You got to set aside a whole separate team to do that, or you got to outsource. It's like
Or you can just cheat. You have Sakurai put them in Smash Bros. And then everyone will play it.
that's right, that's right. And then after you do all of that, you work your magic and you're able to get it to run on the Switch or on whatever console we happen to be talking about at the moment. Um, the audience doesn't exactly respond to it the way they should. They don't
Yeah.
buy it. They don't pick it up. They don't appreciate it. So it's a multi-tiered issue. The
Yeah.
system's power is one. Then Nintendo's caveman attitude to everything online is two.
The lack of storage on these cartridges,
The
like
lack of
They're
storage
they're
in the
it's
console. Yeah, yeah.
they're
it's
basically reverse Xbox. Xbox says, "Hey, this game
Mhm.
has two colors, too much colors. Fuck it." Nintendo says, "Hey, this game doesn't have enough colors. Fuck it."
Yep. And then of course the audience, man. They just on one side I don't blame them because most of these cats, well, some of them actually only have no, I almost said Wii U. Some of these cats really only have Switches. Like, that's all they have. And
yeah.
between me and you guys, if you're listening, I feel sorry for you, but that's aside from the point.
And then a lot of them, let's be honest, are kids too. Like somewhere,
Yep.
little Johnny is like, "Popper Flanders said this game is too cruel."
Oh
Yep. But
Lord.
most people have a PC or an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Well, I
So they
won't
have other options, right? So
Well, I can't say that most of the Switch owners are kids because remember when they first started advertising the Switch, guess who was in the commercials? It was nothing
young
but
adults.
adults. So
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
I
can't just.
understand that, but if you play Smash Bros. And other games where you can
Mhm.
play against people online, you can tell they're kids just by the mindset of how they play. I promise you.
All right, Negro Damas. but
Yeah.
but like I guess with the Switch thing, like I want it to do better. I want it to get all the support that it can get. Not just from third party, like first party, because I felt that after the first year, it's like they kind of went on a cruise control with their first party games. I kind of feel that some of their first party games is overpriced. I still have an issue with paying $60 for a 2D game, and now there's I done got my little issues with that Zelda game, Link's Awakening. Like, let's just be real, that game is not a $60 game, but it's gonna be a $60 game. If you
Oh, the
look
one
at
coming out later this year?
yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
not a $60 game, but it's a bunch of fanboys been arguing with me.
Man,
And
it's Nintendo,
I'm like,
man.
let
They ain't sell
Microsoft,
nothing for under 60.
let Microsoft and Sony release a game for $60 looking like that. Let's just be real, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
It's
I'm
like,
gonna be part of the
uh-huh.
problem, man, because I'm getting that.
It's like, no, don't get me wrong. No, don't get me wrong. I like the game, but like, let's just be fair, man. Like, the reason why these games are $60 is because of the production of making these games. Like, the
Yeah,
production of this game don't look like it should be $60. But the game still look fine. I'm gonna still get the game. It looks fun. But it's like this. The original GTA was on PlayStation. It was a top.
yeah.
It was a top-down game. Just imagine if Rockstar re-release that game. Still top down. They just make it look colorful, like the same way Nintendo has doing Link's Awakening. They do the exact same thing. Still top down. They still ain't really nothing new. You know, of course they sharpened up the graphics, but it's not like it's like a wild type of a moment.
Yeah.
It just looks a little more smoother, but it's still not a $60 game. You know, it's still not that type of game that you would think that they done invested $20 to $40 million. No, that's a game that looks like they invested
Man.
maybe a couple of million, maybe less
And you
than
know what
that.
the most frustrating thing about that is? What you're saying is that most of these games come out for 60. All these games come out for 60, whether you think they're worth 60 or not. And the price don't move, man.
No, I don't know.
No matter
man.
how long you wait.
I got my issues with Nintendo when it comes to their pricing, man. I do. That's why I really hadn't really been playing my Switch or buying games on the Switch, man. I just feel that it's just too overpriced, man. And
I have my own way of dealing with that. Just buy the
Yeah.
must-haves and ignore everything else.
and
That's what I do, because there are some
Yeah.
games that's worth it.
That Metroid Prime 4, that really kind of broke my heart. I'm gonna be real with you. That broke my heart. You
Man,
know,
that broke my heart too, but not for the reasons you think. Because I'm sure you remember, man. I'm sure you remember. There was a certain podcast I had on a Nintendo E3 years ago, and I was sitting here thinking, "Yo, man, Retro gonna show their game." This is after Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, mind you. Retro gonna show their game, man. This is Retro
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
and no Retro, man, no Retro. I'm thinking, all right, they're making something super ambitious. That's what it is. It's a new IP. It's something really great, and they need a couple more years to put a twist on it to make us love it. No retro game. No retro game. 2018. No retro game. We in 2019, only to find out in April that they weren't actually doing jack shit. Apparently,
Yeah.
and they're going to start making restarting development on Metroid Prime 4. I'm like, what the hell? What were they doing, man?
Yeah.
It's been what, 5 years since Tropical Freeze? I think that was 2014, yeah. So
Oh, you
I
talking
don't know, man.
when they jacked the price up on the Tropical Freeze on the Switch?
Yeah, and then they re-released it and jacked the price up. I'm like, but it's cheaper
Man,
now.
Boy,
Yeah.
Mr. T, boy, he wasn't having that. Or he was so
Yeah.
mad. Or he lost a lot of subscribers. Boy, he was like, man, I'm not gonna be defending this crap, man. He's been on a tear, man.
Oh man.
He be tripping me out, man. Boy, I tell you, like, it's just little stuff like that. It irritates me, man. Don't get me wrong, Nintendo makes really great games, man. But I feel that some of their business practices is just as bad as EA. That's how I feel sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of fanboys. They love Nintendo. I love a lot of their games. I do. You know, but it's just to a point that I even said this last year. If they go third party, it wouldn't break my heart. It wouldn't at all.
Man, that'd be the best thing ever.
It wouldn't break my
Don't
heart.
kill me. Don't kill me,
Nah,
okay? I said
it's not a lie. Could you imagine playing Nintendo games on PC? I mean, I've already been doing it, experimenting with some older games, and trust me, it's worth it. The netcode is so much better.
Yep.
Well, it's one thing I can defend about the pricing of, even though I don't agree with the $60 price tag on a lot of these games. But if you go back, if you just keep the game for about 20 years, like, you will go back and play it because it keeps its value, and plus the graphics looks good enough for it can last for a very long time. You know, like a Call of Duty right now, that's out. Will you play that same Call of Duty 20 years from now, or will you play Mario Odyssey 20 years from now? So you got
Easy. Yeah.
So that's one thing you can defend about it. It's kind of like on the GameCube. Whether you play the original Call of Duty on GameCube, I'm not sure if it went on GameCube. But will you play a Call of Duty on GameCube, or whether you rather play Wind Waker?
Easy, man. But you know what it comes down to? Nintendo knows that they make games that just about everybody likes.
Yeah.
They know that the games are usually high quality.
Yeah.
So they think they can get away with it, man. They're like, a bad bitch, bro. They got us by the balls and they know it. So
No, they hold value.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, they do hold value.
Yeah.
Because as time goes on, it ages like wine, while the other games it ages like bananas.
Exactly.
So I understand that. I understand that. You know, it's just $60 for a Yoshi. Oh man, okay,
Hell no.
I can't even play with my friend. I can't even play with y'all guys
Man.
online. Why am I paying $20 a
Man.
year for a subscription for? Why?
Man, they need to rename that subscription from the what is it called? The online membership or whatever it's called.
Yeah, just Nintendo Online.
And just call that damn thing the Smash Pass. I mean, let's
The
be honest,
Smash
man.
Pass.
That is the only goddamn reason anybody paying for that. So
Honestly, yeah, you're right because
Yeah.
I held out to Smash. I didn't even want to get that damn subscription.
Exactly.
I
Man,
did.
we being fleeced, boy.
So what do y'all guys think about Nintendo E3? Do y'all think there's gonna be some surprising games? We'll get a release date on Astro Train and what's the other game? What's that robot game? That mech game? Demon
Damon X
Machina
Machina.
X or something.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all think we'll
They-
get
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Hopefully we get release dates on that and a release date on that Persona 5 game, that the Warriors, whatever. And I want some surprise. I want to know what Nintendo got. When's the next Zelda game coming out? Are we gonna get a gameplay footage?
All right,
When's
so-
when's Bayonetta 3 coming out? Are we gonna get some type? Are they gonna give us some type of snippet of Metro Prime 4? I want to know something. What are they gonna do? What Nintendo gonna do with their first party? Like, are they gonna bring out the big guns again? Or we gonna
Well,
go
you already know
another
what
year?
the next big game for Switch is going to be guaranteed.
Oh,
We all know it's going to be
that-
Sword and Shield for Pokemon.
No,
Of course.
I thought Fire Emblem
Yeah.
was the next big game.
No, I
Yes,
mean like
but it's
this
not
year's
bigger than
big
Pokemon.
blockbuster.
Oh
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Fire
it's not as
Emblem
big
is
as
big, but
Pokemon.
it's not bigger than Pokemon. And
No,
then
no, you're right.
Pokemon has finally changed the system of how they do their traditional games. Like what they showed in the Nintendo direct for Pokemon was that now what they're doing is when you look at the map, you can see all the Pokemon on the map. So
Oh,
instead of
really?
going to
Yeah.
different areas and
Yep.
trying to randomly find them or looking at the Pokedex because you've been there, you can look at the map and see where the Pokemon are and just go there. So it makes it easier to find them now.
I didn't watch.
All right. We on Pokemon. I just want to try something real quick, right? Social experiment. For the 27 of you listening or who's in the chat or whatever, and for you guys here in the call, those Pokemon starters, right? So, are you Team Sabo? Are you Team Grookey? Or are you Team God Score Bunny? Like, I need to know. So if you're in the chat, 1 for Sabo, 2 for Grookey, and this type 3 for the God.
I'm sure you guys know my answer already.
I didn't watch. I gotta watch it. I do.
Hey, we
I
got
didn't-
1 Score Bunny, man. That's what's up.
I didn't watch. I didn't play no Pokemon since Pokemon Red and Blue.
I know you guys know my answer already. What do you guys think my answer is?
Sabo?
Yep. And why is
Of
it Sabo?
course, man. Because it's a water type, man. I'm tired of y'all.
Yeah, play competitive. Water type is always the best.
Of course, man. Y'all are hoes, man. Get out of here.
Look at it. I'm all about the stats. Top tier, baby.
So do you think there'd be a game I'll play? I don't know. I do like
Pokemon
RPGs.
is actually really advanced. Like, if you only
Yeah.
play story mode, it's childish and ridiculously easy. But if you get into the competitive scene, it's a
Yeah.
lot of work, man. There's
really?
math, there's algorithms, EV training, IV training, breeding for perfect stat children.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of work.
It is.
Hey, let me do some quick shout outs, man. Hey, T. Sean, Dave J, of course, Jalen Pipes, Core Bunny Squad. Let's go.
Oh Lord, there y'all go. Y'all fanboying about Pokemon. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch that direct and see if I'm interested. I just hadn't been a Pokemon guy. Never did. But yeah, they got.
If you get into the competitive scene, you'll like it.
Oh really? Will we be able to play each other online?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pokemon games
yeah.
always let you play online.
Mm-hmm.
The 3DS.
Pokemon
ones?
has been online since Game Boy.
Oh really?
Yes. Pokemon has always been online. Remember, Pokemon is the reason that the link cable exists.
Oh yeah.
That is true.
I remember.
That is
You know
true.
what? I do remember
Yep.
that. I do remember that.
You had no other game to use the link cable for. It was literally invented for Pokemon.
Hey, so we got another one here.
You could play some 2-player co-op games like Double Dragon on the Game Boy if you have the
Bruh,
link
who
cable.
was doing that? Like, who was doing that?
I did that before. I actually did that before.
Link cable for Double Dragon.
So Jalen Pipe says Team Sword or Team Shield. I already see one sword. Man, I like you
Shield,
guys,
baby.
man. Sword all day. Get out of here, you
Shield,
fake ass
baby.
Entei. Like, man.
It's all about Shield.
Well,
Man, he looks like
If
an
you've ever
Entei,
seen
bro.
the anime Shield Hero, it's all about Shield.
I was about to bring that up. That's a badass anime.
Rise
I like
of the
it.
Shield Hero is
Yeah, that's
godlike.
a badass anime. I like that.
I mean, people are gonna say, "Oh, so you're just gonna pick the dog with a sword in his mouth?" Of course, I'm gonna pick the dog with a sword in his mouth. That's badass. Come on, man.
I mean, if it was Ninja Hound Rapide from Vesperia, I would agree.
Oh,
but
that's
it's
my
not.
boy. Repeat is my boy.
If it was Rapide, it wouldn't even be a discussion. Like, that's unanimous.
But yeah. You know, Score Bunny all day and Team Sword.
I didn't know you was a Pokemon guy, Zen.
I skip a few and then I buy the next big one. I didn't buy what was the one that came before this?
Eevee and
Sun and Moon. Nah, Sun
Yeah,
and Moon.
I didn't buy the Let's Go
Let's
thing
Go.
either.
I didn't buy that Let's Go nonsense either because you know that's just yeah. But I did get X and Y. Or
X and Y, I think, was the best game to come out of the WoW. Because Sun and Moon was trash. X and Y was godlike.
It was, and it was kind of the Pokemon game that brought me back into Pokemon from the original Red Blue days. So, you know,
Everyone liked Mega Charizard because, to be honest, without the Mega forms, Charizard was completely dead. Ever since they made Hazards and they had that Hazard Stealth Rock, it was the end of Charizard. But when he got the Mega form that made him a dragon, he had a chance to actually combat that.
Yep, man. So I look forward to this game. It looks good. It looks good. And going back to E3 and Nintendo, I want Nintendo to have a good show, right? To put aside the old cynical gamer in me, and I have my annoyances with Nintendo, but that goes way back.
Yeah.
I know they can have a good show. That's what I'm saying. I know they can have a good show. They have Pokemon to talk about. There's a potential to see Bayonetta, but maybe not much of it. Things like Astral Chain and what's that other game again? The Daemon X Machina thing for the mech fans. You know, you're gonna like that. There may be a few surprises because we never know.
You know what I want from Nintendo? I want a remake Xenoblade. That's what I want.
The first game?
The first
Chronicles?
Yes, that's what I want.
I wouldn't mind it, but I don't really see the need for it.
Well, the reason why I would like it because that it's kind of like when like towards the end of the Wii's life cycle, that's when they was getting a whole bunch of like really good games like with Xenoblade Chronicles, Skyward Sword. I think there was another one I forgot the name, but it was a really good one, and a lot of people just like they didn't pay no attention to it. So if like I think it would be a good time to go ahead and remake that game. And I'm pretty
What,
sure
you talking about X?
No,
I
not
don't
X.
know.
Not X. Not X. The original.
The original.
okay.
Okay.
The original.
Okay.
I thought you
Not
meant the
X.
one on the Wii U because that game was pretty boring.
No. Yeah, I liked it at first, then it got too repetitive.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. RPGs are naturally repetitive, so if you can't keep them interesting through repetition, it gets rough.
Yeah.
And Nintendo has a lot of good RPGs, especially on the Switch. Like I think Zen can co-sign that the Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition was like the best thing they could ever get. Just
that game was so sweet.
Exactly, and you get every character.
Is it better than Dragon Quest? Because I know with Amazon, you're a big. Not, are you a big fan of that, or that? What's the name?
That was my.
Is that true?
I would say it's better than Dragon Quest, but it's only because for me personally, RPG games that allow you to level up and learn new moves while using movement are better than the traditional turn-based ones, in my personal opinion. And it's faster paced. Like Tales games have always played like a fighting game. Like when you go into battle, you can block, you can parry, you can jump over moves, and then the game has a combat system that rewards you for that. So if you time when the opponent swings and you parry, like it'll stun them or give you meter, you can do finishing moves and tag team chain combos.
All right. But like I was saying, man, so I want them to have a good show. They got 45 minutes to play with, right? Which is beefy for a direct. What I don't want them to do is spend like 25 to half an hour of that 45 on goddamn Animal Crossing, because I know this is about to be a really, really, really controversial opinion, but I couldn't give a damn about that franchise.
They
So
better do what was that E3 they spent about 30 minutes on, was it Mario Maker or something like that? Everybody was pissed
yeah, that
off.
was bad, man. I was just
Yeah.
sitting there like, okay, this is cool and everything, but you know, where the game's at?
Honestly, I don't really see the appeal of Mario Maker per se. Like, I can't see the longevity of playing a game where you make your own games to be enjoyable for a long time. Like you know what I mean? It feels like the equivalent of Mario Party. You'll play it with a bunch of friends, but if you're alone, what would really be the utility or the enjoyment of playing Mario Maker? It's like, hey, I created a bunch of stages. Let me play through the stages I just created by myself.
Damn. Speaking of Mario
Yeah,
Party,
yeah.
didn't Mario Party come out last year and you couldn't even play with your friends online?
Yeah, which was retarded.
Yeah.
No, man. I was just wondering. I didn't know.
How you gonna have a party without online
I don't
gameplay?
know.
Hey man, the best parties are you and some beer, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, they gotta fix that, man. They need to fix that. It's bad. All right, what about you, Amazon? What you think about Nintendo? What you think they're gonna do to C3?
I don't think he's there.
Yeah,
He probably
muted.
stepped away.
Oh,
Yeah.
Amazon said before he left,
Oh, my
he
bad.
thinks Fire Emblem would be better if you could do Nair in the actual Fire Emblem games like Smash.
Oh, really?
He didn't really say that.
No, I'm here. I just had it on mute.
Mari brother, he said he can't wait to see Luigi Mansion. Yeah,
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're good, man.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I'm actually excited for Luigi's Mansion 3. I am excited. I did enjoy the first one. I did like it. So we should get release date for Luigi Mansion 3. But Amazon, what you think about Nintendo Direct? What you think they're gonna E3? What you think they're gonna show? What's your opinion?
Pretty much what you all was saying, like Pokemon, of course, Damon mocking X, I think I pronounced it right. They may show us previews of Bayonetta, I hope. And I don't know really. I really need to get back into this stuff. I've been working a lot. But I know pretty much they're gonna have a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You good?
So I'm really waiting for that. What's the remake? Link's Awakening.
You excited to pay the $60?
No, I was just about to say that. I'm happy for it because I never played it on Game Boy, but $60, like you were saying, that's kind of steep.
Well, hey man, hey. Buy the game at $60.
That's Nintendo.
Play it once.
That's Nintendo though, because their games rarely go on sale, and if it does, it's like $10 off.
Play it once, delete your save, play it again, $60.
Yeah. And if you don't have Nintendo Online, you can't use your save file.
That's right.
Oh, I tell you. So that's everybody on Nintendo?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to Microsoft. So basically, I'm a huge Xbox fan. You're a huge Xbox fan, Zen. G-Rock, he's I don't know what the hell he is. He claims he's a pony, and next day he's an Xbox guy, and next day he's a Nintendo guy. But deep down, he's a pony. He could claim
he's got a foot in both territories. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
When things are favorable for him on the blue side, that's what he had. When things are favorable on the green side, that's what he had.
He's a bandwagon.
Yeah. He's a refugee this year. That's what he is.
You know who Chris reminds me of? A Golden State Warrior fan. What was the
Warrior
fan?
Don't let him hear you say that, man. Don't let him hear you say that, man. He hates those dudes. Don't. That dude will flip out if he hear you say that.
Yeah, his ass should have been here. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot to put on the table for Microsoft's E3, man. Like, oh, we're gonna see two different skilled consoles. There's been they said it's gonna be like 14 exclusives, three new IPs. That was the rumors. That long-awaited Playground Games project that's going is going to be revealed. There was rumors that they was working on Fable. Of course, we got that leak today from Ninja Theory and Gears 5, Halo Infinite. Can't forget Battletoads. So like, there's a lot that I'm really looking forward towards this E3, and um, we possibly might get the we might actually see the new consoles. I don't know. It's been rumors, but if they don't show the new consoles at E3, then it'll probably be either sometime this year. I kind of doubt it'll be next E3 because this generation is what, we 5 years into the generation, so we got to know something.
Yeah.
We got to know something. We're going to be 6 years. This coming up November will be 6 years of this generation. So you would think we gonna get a console this E3, if not later on this year. If not this year, then maybe early next year. But I don't know, man. But I'm excited for the fact that they basically gave us all these studios last year at E3, and this year people want to know what are you doing with these studios? Are you gonna show us some games finally? Or you'll give us some good quality exclusives finally? What's going on? Or you gonna finally reveal the new consoles? Like what you got going on? Because of all these years, you've been the laughing stock in the gaming industry. Because not only you had lack of exclusives, a lot of the exclusives was dog shit. Let's just be real, you know. But like, it is what it is, man. Who want to go first? What y'all thoughts about the Microsoft Z3?
All right, all right. I'm gonna take this one. Let me get this out of the way.
I know you. I know you want to.
Let me get this out of the way. All day, every day, Xbox, baby. But anyway.
Oh.
Shout out to Mr. Fatal Mephisto in the chat.
Oh, what's up, bro?
Man? So Xbox, man. All right. So let me just go off of what you just said. Let's start with the elephant in the room. No, we are not going to see those consoles this year. What they are going to do is they're going to do a Scorpio-like reveal where they kind of tell you, hey, we're making, a powerful console. It's a beast. It's a monster. You're going to see some off-screen gameplay. They're going to have people like Todd Howard and execs from EA and Ubisoft and Yves Guillemot and all these dudes come in and say, yo, when we first saw it, we were amazed and our games run buttery smooth and we're going to be able to deliver our vision exactly as we had dreamed them up and all that. They're going to hype you up, and then they're going to officially confirm the code name for the system, not the actual name. So like how we knew Scorpio was Scorpio before it got named Xbox One X, we're going to get either the Anaconda or Lockhart or some other entirely new code name, Scarlet or whatever. That's going to be what that is. They're going to tease it, but they're not going to say much about it. Kind of like what Sony already did. They teased it and didn't say much about it. I get slightly annoyed every time I hear someone say, but Sony already showed specs. Sony didn't show shit. Sony came out and said, we're using AMD Ryzen and Navi. We got a solid state hard drive. Peace, deuces, we out. That's not specs.
Yeah.
That is not specs.
You would think they will show us some type of reveal, because didn't Phil Spencer last year said that they are deep into the development of the new consoles? I could have sworn he said that last year E3.
Yeah. Well, he might, but I personally don't expect it, man. That is the only way they come out and they show and tell everything about these consoles is if these damn things come out in like spring of 2020. Not if there's a whole other E3 to talk about it and it comes out in the fall of 2020.
And then that doesn't necessarily mean it's a lie either, because they can dig deep into it, but at the same time, it only means that they have everything on paper. Like, there may be parts that they know in theory would work better, but they may have to wait for the price to drop down or to get negotiations with companies that make the parts that will give it to them to be it cost efficient. Because one of the downsides the console as well as the upside is actually a double-edged sword is that consoles in most cases are never really over $500 except for the Xbox One X, and for them to do that they have to be able to negotiate to get parts for a cheaper price. And sometimes, well, not even sometimes, a lot of times that's based on time because you're not going to get new parts for those type of prices to
Yeah,
make it that affordable to the consumer either. So that pushes back release dates too.
Right, right.
Mm.
that's
So
true.
on that side, I don't think we're going to see much on that. Just a tease, and we're going to move on from there. They're going to spend some amount of time on XCloud because I'm willing to bet they were watching Google Stadia's thing today, and they were just like, "Yeah, we're better than that." I'm pretty sure. So, knowing what they're going up against, they're good position right now to come in with a slam dunk. If they're in a good position, I don't know, but they're gonna spend 10, 15 minutes on that to make sure everybody understands what their offerings are as opposed to the competitions. Once we're done with those two things, they're probably gonna talk about Game Pass again because it's super successful.
Yeah.
They're gonna probably reveal some games coming to it right then and there, shadow drop style. But outside of that, it's going to be about the games. So we're hearing that this year is their strongest year for third party showings. So before we get to the first party, let's talk about those. Uh, Last year was pretty damn good for third party. Like they got everything people thought was going to be elsewhere,
Mm-hmm.
from Devil May
Yeah,
Cry to Sekiro,
Oh
you name it,
yeah, yeah. I give them that.
yeah,
Don't forget Kingdom Hearts.
and Kingdom Hearts. Didn't expect
Yeah.
to see it on that stage at all.
Mm-hmm.
So this
me
year
neither.
they're gonna have Star Wars. They're gonna have probably Call of Duty. The usuals, right? They're gonna have the Maddens and whatever and whatever. But I have a feeling they're gonna have a few Japanese games, including the one that was rumored that George R. R. Martin, the Game of Thrones guy, is working on with From Software, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably gonna reveal that. For some reason, From Software likes revealing on Microsoft stage. I mean, we know the sales go the other way, but for some reason they like revealing there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're probably going to get, well, not probably, we're definitely getting more Cyberpunk 2077,
Yeah.
and that's going to be hype. Borderlands 3 is going to show up there as well.
I cannot wait for that game. That game is
Hmm.
gonna be so godlike. Do you know how many hours I put in the Borderlands the pre-sequel and Borderlands 2? I actually put so much into it that I found different combinations the one-shot bosses on hard.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So there's going to be a bunch of others, but don't want to spend too much time on that. But the first part, that's what everybody really wants to hear about. Phil came out a week ago and said we have 14 games on stage from Xbox Game Studios.
Oh.
Now, the fanboys, they got excited. They started running with it. Oh, 14 new games. Stop.
Ah.
Man never said that.
Uh-huh.
This is why y'all get in trouble.
Assuming.
Stop. The man said 14 games. These
Yep.
could be games we know about. These could be
Yep.
games that could already be out, right? He never said 14 new reveals.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, we heard from somebody, I can't even remember who. Was it Brad Sams? One of those guys. Or maybe Windows Central, who said 3 new IPs. Taking today's leak into account, that means 2 new IPs besides Bleeding Edge. That's what you get to expect. And we don't know what these games are. We don't know what level of production they are. They could be double A, they could be triple A. We don't know. So all I'm gonna say is temper your expectations. Be excited, but temper your expectations on that front because I don't think this year is going to be the super blowout of man. We bought 7 studios last year. This is what they're working on. They're not ready yet. He did say some already, and I expect to see some of them. Ninja Theory might show their other tease their other thing. Who knows? Playground might show what they're working on. We're going to see more of Battletoads. Been hearing rumors about a Perfect Dark. Please God, be true. Rare is working on something else besides Sea of Thieves and
Ew.
Battletoads,
Jesus.
so
Oh
there's
my
something
god.
there.
That now that is an abomination. Sea of Thieves.
Man, nah, man. I like Sea of Thieves, bro.
Man, that first day it came out, I was so mad.
All
I was
right,
like,
you know
what
what?
the hell is this?
Let me be fair. The
Oh
first day it came out, the first
Lord.
part of its life, yeah, it didn't really have the content it needed, right? But since then, I mean, as of the anniversary update in April of 2019, it's an awesome game, man. You should go back to it. But then again, I do understand if it's not everybody's kind of game. But
Mm-hmm.
I personally like that shit. But anyway, aside from that, I digress. So there's a lot to look forward to on that front. All I'm saying is we're not gonna see everything. Maybe Obsidian's second studio, not the one working on the Outer Worlds, the other team. Maybe we're gonna see something from them. Maybe one of the games, one of the three games is that game. It's gonna be a great show. As for what we know Gears 5 is gonna be there. Uh,
Halo,
Halo Infinite is gonna be
Battletoads.
there. Battletoads is gonna be there. They're probably
Another
gonna
great
talk about
game. Tactics.
Gears Tactics. Do not mention Gears Pop, please God, don't do that. Um, even though that was a good troll
Gears
last year,
pop.
I give Rod Ferguson that. That was a damn good troll. But we don't need to hear any more about that game. Not really. Um, Forza Horizon 4 expansion 2. So there's a lot of stuff they get to talk about. According to Aaron Greenberg, they're under 2 hours, but they're over last year's conference. So for reference, last year was 140 minutes.
Yeah.
So this year might be a bit over that, right? So we might be looking at an hour 50 or an hour 55. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
specify, but he did say we're under 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it's about to be a pretty good show. I don't think anyone's going to walk away from it saying, well, this is one of their weaker years. I think this is going to be one of their stronger years.
I hope so, man. I really hope so. For the sake of Xbox. Okay. You done on your part?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
All right. What about y'all? What about Amazon retro? What y'all think? Whoever want to go first?
I'm honestly not too sure. Like I like some of the things they're coming out with and the direction they're going, but again, the biggest issue I see is the Xbox fan base as a whole. Like it's getting them to play more variety of games because I feel like that's generally what just killed the community. Like I don't even feel like it's dying anymore. Like their community is more or less dead because they only play like particular genres and that kills everything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like when I used to work at Best Buy, a lot of people played Xbox, and it's because they literally only played sports games and Call of Duty. Like I had a
Yeah.
girl I worked with, and she's like, "You're a big gamer. Give me some suggestions on games." And then when I gave her some suggestions, she was like, "Ooh, those sound kiddie." She was like, "I really only play COD and sports games." And I'm thinking in my mind, like, then why the fuck did you ask me for suggestions if that was
Ah.
the case? You already know your answer.
Hyper casual.
This is, but
Super
that, but
hyper.
that, but that's what it is, and it's really not like
You here?
Oh, you cut out, man.
Yeah, you cut out. You can't hear you, retro.
Check your mic. Check your headset or whatever.
Ah,
get some bigger YouTubers to
hey,
try to rally
retro,
the community, huh?
retro. You just cut back in. We didn't hear you for about 20, 30 seconds.
Oh, I was saying like maybe if they can get like bigger YouTubers or Twitch like streamers to kind of rally the community into other games and get them excited to give it a try because they're streaming them. Like it's at the point now that bringing different varieties of games isn't just helping anymore. They have to find another way to entice their fans through marketing, I feel. And I don't think the marketing angle is doing it too well, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since we already know Japan has already just given up on the Xbox.
Yeah, giving up. They were never there.
Exactly. So I feel like at their point now, it's really trying to find a niche in marketing to entice their fans to give other things a try because it's not there yet.
Right.
Okay. What about you, Amazu? You here with us? He's still muted. His kid's probably kicking his ass right now.
Amazon says Xbox will make killings if they have Dragon Quest.
Oh Lord.
uh, yeah, man, it should be a good show. It should be a good show.
I hope
I
so,
don't.
man. All these years of the trolls and people thinking that they getting out the console market and all the games going on PC, and I have my issues with that, but I don't even care no more. Like, it is what it is. Like, either you're a PC gamer or you're not. I'm not a PC gamer, so I really don't even care no more. I don't. I just want to know what they got. Like, these past 2 to 3 years has, ever since that whole entire remember, I think Phil Spencer, I think he made a remark about people don't care about single player gaming no more. I think he did say something like that a few years ago, and people got so mad.
All right. So what he said was, and what he said was true. I just don't think he should have said it. Right? It's one of those things that are objectifiable facts, but you probably shouldn't say it because it will be an unpopular opinion. What he said was, single player games are fine when they launch and they make a big splash within the first few months of release. Right? They make 5, 8, 10 million units sold, and everybody talks about them on social media and everything, and it's big, high Metacritic games. But
Mm-hmm.
then that falls off, and there's no way to essentially continue monetizing the game. You make that one point of sale, sale, and that's it. As opposed to another game which may not be as well received on the Metacritic side, but it's multiplayer
Mm-hmm.
where people keep playing for hundreds of hours, thousands of hours,
Mm-hmm.
and the game goes on for years and years and years. So essentially, what he was saying was, based on the data that he's seeing,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to start seeing a trend in the market towards multiplayer games, and single player games are going to become more and more niche.
And that's not
Now,
a lie either.
that's not a
Yeah.
lie. Like I said, it's an objectifiable fact,
Yeah.
but I don't think he should have said it.
I
So,
think when he
yeah,
said that, like, yeah, if you go by statistics, yes, he's right. But I think after he said that, it made people want to support single player gaming even more. Remember, I'm not sure if it was no, it was 2 E3s ago when Bethesda made a statement during the E3 talking about save single player gaming. Remember that little deal they had? Because we know Bethesda is known for single player games.
right.
And when
Yeah.
it comes to Sony, that's their bread and butter, single player games. And we can't forget Nintendo; they got single player games as well too. It's just
Hmm.
it's just this generation they now want to get to the multiplayer with Splatoon, what else? Well, Smash Brothers and
Smash and Mario Kart, of
yeah,
course.
Mario
Yeah.
Kart. Like, yeah, they just now get into the multiplayer. But let's just be real. Like Legend of Zelda, like, come on, man. Like
I,
the 3D Mario games, like that
I would
they got
say
a cult fan base for that.
they do.
And you know what you know what it is. I think it's the mindset of
Mm-hmm.
this younger generation in general because like this is probably the biggest time in the world that people have ever been this social with social media and stuff. But then if you look at schools and stuff too, a lot of the younger ones are taught to be more social, are taught like more socialism philosophies. And a lot of them, like if you look at surveys and stuff, it shows that they think that every game should be on every platform. Like
Mm-hmm.
they believe in not being loyal to a brand. And I can't say that's a bad thing because if you're paying money, you shouldn't just kind of kiss the ass of one brand anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
it could be for the better, possibly. Like I don't want to see single players games die because
Oh
of it,
no.
but
No, no,
but
no. Of
I
course not.
play
Yeah.
most of my games. I play single players. I just don't have time to play multiplayer. Like I don't know when last time I played Call of Duty. So if I just wind up just get on Call of Duty to play people, I'm gonna get my ass beat, get
Like,
torched. Like
for
I'm a
example,
noob.
I'm going to use myself as an example here. Okay. So, and I doubt I'm not. I'm doubting I'm the only one. I
Mm-hmm.
love single player games.
Mm-hmm.
You sit down, you get immersed in a world, RPGs, whatever, man. Beautiful, expansive worlds with lore and culture, and you just love every second of it. to ensure that I'm being fair, I'm not even gonna mention Microsoft or Nintendo games here. I'm gonna mention a Sony game.
Mm.
Horizon Zero Dawn to me was one of those games. I love that game.
Oh,
I
I love
absolutely
that.
do.
I platinumed that game. I loved it.
So did I. In fact, when I saw you platinum it, that's what made me think, yeah, I could do this too.
Actually,
'Cause
at that time, I was laid off.
yeah,
I was laid off of work, so I was at the house all day. So that's how I did
yeah.
it.
Because I saw it pop up in my feed like Real Gamer 27 just platinum Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, nah, bitch, it's on now.
I
Is
didn't know you. I didn't
that?
know you paid attention to that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
I'm like, if you did that shit, that mean I can do this shit, man.
Oh
So,
shit!
because I don't usually go for the platinums because it's usually some crazy ass shit you got to do. But
Yeah.
when I saw that, hey, here's this dude with kids, wife, working man, and he got time to platinum a game, that mean I can do that too.
Exactly.
So
Mm-hmm.
Horizon Zero Dawn is one of those games, right?
Yeah.
Love it, love the lore, love the story, the backstory, love the character. Aloy, best PlayStation Bay. No arguments about that. But here's the problem with single player games as a generality is that once you put 120, 150, 160 hours into that game, you play it through once, and I'm using myself here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not talking about anyone else. I'm done with that game. Outside of
Yeah.
DLC, I am never going back. So it sits there on my shelf. It's a good memory in my head, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going back. As opposed to a multiplayer game where I will go back. So that's the difference there,
So you don't
right?
think putting 100 hours in one game is justifiable of $60?
It
I
is. It's
think it is.
absolutely justifiable. But what I'm saying is that 160 hours compared to the time I put into, let's say, Halo 5 over the course of this generation,
Mm-hmm.
160 hours is chump change, man.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. I'm not saying single player games should go away.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is we need both. And
Yeah.
as
Yes,
far as
we
I
the
had
do.
no.
three consoles, yeah,
I had no issue with that.
right? As far as the three consoles, every one of them have a strength and a weakness. When it comes to Nintendo, Nintendo is strong with the party games, the couch co-op games.
Yeah.
Creativity.
Strong with that. But their online is
Garbage.
ass.
Oh man.
And they could do with a few more mature games made by Nintendo themselves. When
Yeah.
it
So.
comes to Sony, their single player games are god tier, but they virtually have no multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Only
So.
Killzone. And as for Microsoft, multiplayer games are what they do. That's their bread and butter. But they lack on the single player game side. So each one has their niche and each one has their thing that they do better than any of the others. And I think each one of them can learn lessons as to how to step out of that safe zone.
Hmm.
So,
Oh, we can't forget. Well,
yeah.
no, let's not forget Nintendo. They got Zelda and Mario. They're single player games. Highly
Yeah, and they're
rated.
single player games too, yeah.
Highly rated single player. That's one thing that they got over Microsoft. Like, I don't know, man. Like Microsoft, uh, I I would rather play my Xbox on, like, if I had the choice of playing all the games, I'll play on Xbox, but I don't have that choice. So that's why I want all these companies to basically, not just be the same, but be the same in a different way. Have your own shit, and not just
Right.
not just your own shit, but a variety. Don't just be one dimensional. Like, with Sony, even though their strengths is single player, but Sony has been on top since they came in the gaming industry. It's like they don't need to make no multiplayer games because the multiplayer games come to them with the third parties. It comes to them.
Right.
Hmm.
With Xbox, like, their strength is multiplayers, but their weakness was Japanese games, Japanese
Right. Yeah, that
single
too. That too.
single single player games. That's their weakness. So they all can learn from each other. Ah,
Also, one thing I failed to mention is,
mhm.
at least with Xbox, when you consider how they started with the original Xbox,
Mhm.
they started with Halo.
Yeah.
And to this day, what do people talk about when they talk about the original Halo? The multiplayer.
Mhm.
So they sort of kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? They groomed their audience,
Mhm.
right, in a
Penetration.
certain direction from the
Hmm.
very beginning. And then with the 360, what was the headline game at the start of the 360, Gears of War, the first one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And what do people talk about when it comes to Gears of War? The multiplayer.
Yeah.
So the audience has been groomed in a particular direction. Like, hey, this is what you get to expect from us. Same goes with Nintendo. That audience is groomed to colorful games,
Mm-hmm.
right? Super colorful games. So if a Nintendo fan, average Nintendo fan, I'm not trying to put anyone in any position here, but if one of them sees a game that's a little bit more dull, a little bit more realistically colored, they tend to look at it with a certain eye of skepticism, like, I'm not too sure about this. And that's because of the way they were trained, they were groomed that way. The
Yeah.
same way Sony guys are groomed to expect Japanese games. Because that's what they do.
That's
I
that's
mean,
true.
if Sony comes back to E3 next year and they have their show and you see nothing but Western games, I expect to see a lot of upset Sony fans. And that's real talk.
They're gonna be like, no anime titties, 0 out of 10.
Yep.
That's one thing I do. I do respect PlayStation. They have just about every variety of games that you can think of. Even though they might not do as many multiplayer games, but like they like third parties, man. Like that is their strength. That is their strength. Third parties. They get more third party games than Microsoft and Nintendo
Dave
combined.
J said so basically they were brainwashed.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't say all that, man. That's you.
Amazon, you back with us? You back with us?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Got
What's
my
your
babies to sleep, man.
I told you.
Man,
I told you.
my
It's getting.
3-year-old boy, she
Uh,
kicking my butt.
that's what did I tell you, Zen? What did I tell you?
Mm,
Uh
I said Zen kids must be kicking his butt.
yeah, man.
So what's your thoughts on the Microsoft? Do you think they're gonna do do a good job this coming up E3, or you think it'll be the same old?
I think they're going to do a good job. I liked their show last year. The
Mm-hmm.
stuff when they revealed like the Halo and the Gears and stuff. I
Okay.
think they're going to do good because although I game on PC, I like the Xbox brand, and it's coming to PC too. That's even better for me because I play primarily on PC,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm looking forward to the games that they're releasing and stuff. So I think they'll do pretty good.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we have it. We got our. Oh, Retro, did you give us your thoughts?
Yeah, I
I
did.
think yeah.
You did. So I think that completes our podcast. Unless y'all can think of something else.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if you want to talk about the third party shows.
What third? Oh, was Square and I don't even think EA is doing it this year.
No. Well, EA does have something in the morning,
They
but it's more
suck
like
though.
yeah, they do. They suck ass, man.
Nobody
But
want to keep seeing sports every year.
I'm only watching for one reason, man. That's Jedi Fallen Order, man. I just want to see if that
Yeah,
game is
that
worth
looks
it or
pretty
not.
good.
Yeah, but it's not a show. They're not doing a conference. It's more like what does Nintendo do? What do they call that thing?
A direct
No, um,
digital event.
Treehouse. That's it.
Oh, okay.
It's more like a treehouse, kind of like a sit and talk and play type deal. So it's for 3 hours tomorrow morning, and I'm really only going to be tuning in for about half an hour of that because that's when I'm going to be playing Star Wars. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Um.
Square has got the Avengers game and Final Fantasy VII. Everybody's excited about that.
Man, that game ain't coming out to 2045, man.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. I am done with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm done.
Oh man, yeah, they need to wrap that up.
What E3 when they announced that? Was it 2014?
2015,
15? I don't
2015.
know.
That
Oh,
was the
man.
dream year. Remember when they pulled out Shenmue 3, Final Fantasy VII remake,
Oh, that game got
Oh
and
yeah,
delayed.
Shenmue 3's coming out this year.
yeah,
It got delayed. I heard it got delayed.
no November,
Till
man.
November.
Yeah.
Really? Are you serious? I
Yeah,
heard it got
yeah.
delayed.
Yeah.
Where y'all heard
It's
that
coming out
from?
the week after Pokemon, I think.
Let me see. Did it? So when did they announce that?
That was like a month ago, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Really?
Yeah, it's coming out on PS4 and PC, I believe.
So I'm looking it up right now. Shenmue 3 is it coming to X? Why is it not coming to X? But like, what Shenmue 2 exclusive on the original Xbox?
Yeah,
It was.
So I
that's
don't.
weird.
That is weird. I don't understand what you would. Hold on,
It
wait a
might
minute,
come later.
wait a minute. Didn't Sega not too long ago when they did their financial report, did they say that they was gonna put more of their games on other consoles instead of exclusive on PlayStation? Let's be
If
real
you're
now.
talking about Shenmue 3, it's coming to everything.
It
It's
says
coming to P.
it said I'm looking at this article. It says Shenmue. Hold on, wait. Shenmue
It's
3.
probably later on.
Hold on, wait.
What Sony has likely is a timed exclusive,
Yeah.
right? It'll come like in 2020 to PC, to Xbox, maybe even Switch.
I don't know, man. But Sega talking about they want to put a lot of their games on other consoles. Like that's how you
Yeah.
make more money. So I don't know why you restricting it to a PlayStation. Like it
Well,
doesn't
they
make
kind of
sense.
owe them because they didn't have money to make the game.
Uh huh.
Remember, they came up on stage and they announced the Kickstarter on stage, and that was the whole. People were
Yeah.
laughing at that, right?
Oh, I
And
remember that. That
then,
was funny. He threw
right,
broke
Yeah.
ass on stage.
and then Sony donated $1 million to the cause, right? I assume that's why they have the timed exclusive.
The
So,
reason why they donated $1 million because ever since that announcement, uh, when they did that, it's not GoFundMe. Was it Kickstarter? Kickstarter.
Kickstarter,
They
Yeah.
yeah.
made so much money in one night off that Kickstarter.
They
And
did.
when,
Yeah.
when Sony saw the demand for that game, that's when they put their own money into it. So that's what it was.
Yeah, they made like $11 million in a day or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I can
but
understand why it's time exclusive, especially if Sony put some money to it, But
yeah,
I don't know, man. That's what's bothering me about Sega, man. Like, if you want to make more money, you need to put Persona 5 on Switch, put it on Xbox, Shenmue, Yakuza. What's that new one that just came out? That lawyer game.
Phoenix, right?
Phoenix, right? Yeah,
No. The other lawyer.
You
other
mean
lawyer.
you mean
Was it?
Professor Layden, but he's not a lawyer though.
no, the same makers of Yakuza, the same developers.
You talking about Judgment?
Judgment. Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Why they restricting all those games to the PlayStation? That's what I'm saying. If they having financial troubles.
They're probably gonna
Mm.
ramp all that up probably next year or maybe next gen. Like
I
make
don't
sure all
know.
their games are all cross.
But then again, I think that's another. That could be another reason why that they didn't hit their mark because I think Sega they originally was supposed to launch the Sega Genesis Classic last year. That's probably one of the reasons they didn't hit their mark because they was expecting to make the X amount of money, but since
Yeah.
it got delayed because of the outcry. Whenever it first got announced, what's the name? Ad Games was on Twitter talking about they can't wait to make the games, and everybody who they was letting Ad Games have it. They said you is not gonna touch this, you piece of crap developer, whatever. They was talking crap, and the outcry was so bad about Ad Games putting their hands on another Sega Genesis Classic that Sega had to freaking delay the whole thing for a year because of the outcry. So that could be one of the reasons. That could be.
Okay. Um, but on the front of like the other guys, Ubi and Bethesda, I just want to see Watch Dogs 3 and Doom Eternal. That's really it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
when's Doom coming out?
I think it's
Sometime
this
this year, I guess.
Now I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. Doom Eternal. It'll be. I wonder if we're gonna get another. What's that horror game? Of Bethesda. I can't. Hey, how the hell I forget? Damn. How did I forget that game?
What game are you talking about?
That horror game.
The Evil Within.
Yes, The Evil Within. How did I forget? I wonder if they're gonna make a third one because I really did enjoy that second one.
Yeah, it did. It was pretty well liked.
I liked it. It was more open world, so it was a little bit more content.
Yeah.
In it. So I actually did enjoy it. It wasn't as scary as the first one because in the scary you in like tight spots and you get like a whole bunch of surprises. But when you're in the open world, it's like it's not as scary and frightening as the first one was. But I still enjoyed myself. It was still a good game.
And they're supposed to be talking about Wolfenstein Youngblood with BJ's daughters.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that too.
Yeah.
So does that come out this year?
I think so.
Heck yeah.
I think so.
It could probably be.
But you know, Ubi and Bethesda, man, they're gonna put on decent shows, but they're gonna be cringeworthy as hell.
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So anybody else got anything to say before we wrap this bad boy?
I do have one big announcement real quick. I actually just got this in an email fairly recently. So the legendary Justin Wong, for those of you that know or don't know, is really big in the fighting game community. Big games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Street Fighter and stuff. He's actually a developer for one of the games that's come out recently called Heroes Versus. It's only been on mobile so far, and it's been at a lot of the recent tournaments, and a lot of the people like it. And they just put out an email today saying that it's now released to PC. So it's free to play, of course, because they're taking everyone's feedback as far as the beta on what needs to be fixed with hit stun, combos, any bugs, if disjointed hitbox are wrong, all that good stuff. So definitely check it out. I mean, Justin Wong is pretty big in the fighting game community. It's free, and we can help him make a better game for our community in general.
All right. Justin Wong moving up in the world. Cool.
That's what's up. Let me I'm looking for something right quick before we get up out of here. Because if y'all not a part of my Discord chat, I'm looking for my deal. Did somebody drop out?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought so.
We're all here.
Out. Oh, okay. So, who else? Anybody excited about that PC show?
For only one reason, man.
What's that?
I want to be completely honest with you, and the toxic troll in me is going to come out for a quick second. I've never watched the PC gaming show, not even once. They've had it like 2 or 3 years, and I've never watched it. But I'm watching it this year because I want to see, because it's sponsored by Epic.
Oh, really?
So I want to see Epic come in there and announce even more exclusives so that the Steam guys can get even more upset.
What the? I don't know what the hell Epic's been doing. They've been pissing a lot of people off.
You know what's funny? I don't understand this PC war thing, and I only say that because from my personal experience, a lot of PC gamers are super anti-social. Like, they don't really hang out with people much. They still talk on forums. They don't really care about YouTube videos or Twitter or anything like that. And from what I see, most of them don't even talk about this. The ones that claim they're PC gamers and talk about this war are the ones that really don't game on PC, to be brutally honest.
Right.
It's like, hey, we have a Steam account that we barely use, so we're saying we're a PC gamer. But like the actual PC gamers, they barely watch YouTube and Twitter. None of them talk about this.
I just want to see Epic come in there and say, hey, yeah, so the rumors were right. Red Dead Redemption 2 is exclusive to the Epic Store. Good Lord. Good Lord. Oh, Twitter is going to be great following that.
Oh, you live for that, don't you?
Oh man, y'all crazy.
Boy, y'all toxic.
Hey man, it's all entertainment to me, man. I don't even take it all that seriously, but I laugh at the cats who do. So
it's really not that serious.
What time is that Microsoft show anyway? Because I go in later on at work.
Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, so it goes on 3 o'clock my time, so I have enough time. Yeah, I got enough time before I go in. I'm gonna stream it, so y'all are more than welcome to join. I'm gonna stream it.
Okay.
Yeah, I might jump in like towards the end or right after for reactions and stuff.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, so it was a good show. It was longer than I expected, and we hadn't done this in a while, so we're gonna start doing this weekly again. So appreciate y'all guys coming out, and of course there was more stuff I want to talk about, but I'm getting sleepy as hell, and my son he needs his room back. So yeah, yeah, I'm still working on that house right now. I'm working on that house. So yeah, if y'all not subscribed to this channel, please do so. I just put the link of my Discord chat. So if you're not part of my Discord, please hit that link. Join us. We be chilling in there sometimes. And like I say, man, I'm gonna restart my channel and do my weekly podcasts. And hopefully nothing come up. And I'm gonna try my best not to disappear for 3 to 4 months again. So. It's E3 time and it's exciting, so I want to know what's going on and get caught up in the loop, get caught up on what's been going on in the gaming community this past few weeks, few months, because I just really hadn't been in the community. I was in another community. I ain't trying to get deep into that. But at the end of the day, I'm still the same. I didn't go nowhere. I'm still here. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been posting some stuff on Twitter that might be a little bit controversial, but it wasn't gaming.
No, man, you gonna get yourself banned.
It's funny. Twitter really be doing that now.
Oh, no.
What you
It's
say?
funny. Twitter really be doing that now. Like they be banning people like crazy.
Oh, really?
Certain
You can be
keywords you
talking
use, I'm not gonna
You be
say.
talking with your friend and say nigga jokingly, and they'll just flag you like hate speech.
Oh,
Ban.
gosh.
We don't
Yeah, they're
appreciate
on
your
that.
opinion.
Yeah.
Bam.
Boy.
That's the way it goes, man. That's what we live in now.
Yep, everybody's getting censored, man. You can't do nothing without getting censored or getting in trouble. We can't look at nobody funny way without getting in trouble.
I remember one time I posted something on Facebook and they gave me a warning. They're like, we are currently blocking the content, and here's why. Do it again and you will be canceled. A third time, your account will be banned.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, man. I remember the days when someone said something you didn't like. It doesn't matter how spicy it was. You just look at him, you say, all right, cool, bro.
Hell, these days,
Exactly.
they digging up your past. If you said something 30 years ago,
Yeah, they're going to destroy you, man.
they could
It's over.
destroy your career.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
remember Randall
Easily.
from Recess, the weasel-looking guy that used to always rat on people?
Yeah.
I feel like this is his perfect world right now.
It is.
It's over, man. They calling your
Spencer was
job.
Spencer.
They calling your family. they
So what's
calling
that
your
dude-
bank. They calling everything.
What's that dude's name that played Easy on that movie? He had a show on Netflix, and I forgot. Well, something happened with him and a co-star. She said sexual harassment with no proof.
Oh,
They canceled the show. Everything that he was doing outside that show, he's been canceled. Everything that he was doing, they X'd him out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, just because of that, like
It is super easy.
It's crazy.
To actually delete a person in real life.
You can't do nothing no more. You
Yeah.
can't do nothing. You say something homophobic, oh, your career over.
Oh, yeah, you better not.
It's over for you.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. So we live in a place of censorship, and you know what? Let me stop before I say something that hurts somebody's
Man,
feelings.
do not forget where you at, man. You at
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, let me leave it alone.
Yeah.
Let me leave it alone, man.
By the way,
but-
for all of you here that's still watching, Real Gamer 27 podcast is brought to you by Motherfucker, a fragrance by Samuel L. Jackson.
oh shit! Now
Demonetized.
I'm demonetized.
Yeah, the algorithm went off, boy. Like, demonetized.
Oh boy! I was so looking forward to them 10 cents, man. I was looking forward to them 10 cents. Shit. All right, let's get out of here, man. Appreciate y'all guys coming. Because I'm gonna try to make this on a Friday. That's the time I got right now. So if y'all cool, I'm cool with it. So let's gonna get the outros out the way, and I'll see y'all on Sunday. So let's start with you, Retro Bro.
What's up, YouTube? Retro Bro here. Had a lot of fun tonight. See you guys soon.
All right, appreciate it. Let's go with you, Zen.
All right, people. You know what it is. It's Zen. Come around once a year like Christmas. But then you get me, and it's awesome.
Damn. celebrate them pagan holidays, but let me
Oh,
leave it alone.
That
Last
boy
not
said
least,
pagan.
let's go with you, Elbazu.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is Amazu. This is a great show. See y'all next time.
Appreciate y'all guys coming in, and like I say, y'all more than welcome back next week. And I'm gonna stream the Microsoft E3 on Sunday. So if y'all want to come, just let me know. You just chill there. So after that, appreciate you guys from coming, and make sure y'all hit that like button, and make sure y'all come be a part of my Discord chat. And the link is in the chat. So if you have time, do that, and I will see y'all on Sunday. So appreciate you guys for coming, and I see y'all next time. Peace.
What time is Microsoft show on